I think it's stems from an early age as well. What I mean when I want to compete to win and not just to show up. Like in any sport and bodybuilding, you're training tirelessly, you're taking hours out of your day, you're doing everything in your possibility to either get on that stage or be a part of that team, whether it's individual or as a team, to win. And I feel that, like, if you're doing all that work, why wouldn't you want the recognition? If you're going to put your mind to something, why don't you try achieve as far as you can go with it? Because if you have that mentality throughout training, gym training, sport training, like, that's going to drive you so much harder than just turning up to show up, just getting on there. You're not going to have that same drive. So you will come up short because you're not willing to sacrifice everything to get there. Said, like, you made a good point where you can't expect people to act the way you do, and I'm like only starting to learn that now. You've got, I guess it stems as well. I was having a discussion before where the way you were brought up has a massive impact on the person you are now, and if you've been taught a certain way, you look up to your parents, they're your guide, and you don't really think anything of it or think anything bad until you put yourself into a relationship and you're like, well, why isn't that person doing it like that? And it's like you've all of a sudden come in with an expectation that these tasks aren't being performed the way that you're used to doing them, and that's something that, like, I'm going to continue to work on and continue to drop, because not everyone's the same. People can hang up a shirt differently and it's still going to dry, right? It's like, why should that let you bother? And it wouldn't be, if everyone was sort of replicated, there'll be, I guess, nothing interesting about that person.
Hey guys, not to take up too much of your time so we can get straight into the podcast, allow me to thank my sponsors quickly. Macro Foods. You can go to macrofoods.com.au and use code MTP10 to get 10% off all your orders. Nutrition Warehouse, your number one supplement store. You can go to nutritionwarehouse.com.au and you can use code MTP15 to get 15% off. And Alka Power Water, your number one alkaline water, found in many, many stores. Go down into our description and you can find out more. Born in 1989, the runt of the litter. We'll go figure, I don't think so. Super active kid, played every sport under the sun, destined to be a sporting star, a few setbacks along the way. Could have had a baseball or rugby league career, then fell in love with the gym. At 24, travelled the world, lived in, is it Tallinn?
Tallinn, Estonia.
Tallinn, Estonia. That's where he entered his first local bodybuilding comp. Came back to Oz, was approached by a federation to compete, and the rest is history. He's competed in the A&B, DFAC, NABA, IFB Elite. Natural to compete in the IFBB Pro. Please help me welcome. Yes, I love my sports cars, and I have travelled a little bit. Michael Carrett. How are you, mate?
Very well. Thank you for the introduction and thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, thank you, buddy. Thank you. So we first met at Metroflex that time.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I remember clearly. I think you're on the bench press set.
Was I benching a lot? Probably
Of
not.
course.
Of course I was. You said, like, fuck, that guy's benching
That's
a
why I
lot.
just came over to you just to congratulate you.
I think, it was to congratulate me. Did you know I had a podcast? Did we talk about that, or did we?
We did talk about it.
Did you know I had a podcast?
I didn't know you at all.
I think, we just spoke. I think you're a very friendly person. I think it was your first time at Metroflex.
Yeah, I'd never trained there before.
I think, and then the conversation was, I'm sure, knowing me, I probably praised you, and I get that from my father. My father used to praise people a lot. Like, he'd go, I really like your shirt. But he wanted also people to like his shirt. And they liked, you got to like my shirt too. But, so I saw you at Metroflex there. And, I remember you also possibly you just had competed, I'm thinking. Did you, maybe? And you were, you were Natty.
Yeah.
And you couldn't believe it. He looks so different now anyway. I'm just thinking, I looked at him and I said, yeah, this guy's lying again. No, I don't question anyone, but Yeah, you were Natty.
I've got that my whole time. I've been training anyway.
Oh, yeah.
That and even like you approaching me, speaking to me, people think I'm not approachable. I'm driven with ego. But
You do look like that.
yeah, until they start speaking to me, then I understand there's a different person behind all that muscle.
Yeah, I think. I'm going to praise you. I think muscle and good looks doesn't work together. I think skinny and good looks works, and jacked with an ugly head works good. But good looking and muscles doesn't work good. People think you're too much of an ego, right? So you're not approachable, but you are approachable. But no, yeah, you were great, and I've noticed you've been training there quite a bit as well lately. It's a great gym. It's a great gym, isn't it? It's the equipment there. There's something about going in there. I don't know what it is, but I felt like there's an element that feels like you can grow in there because everyone's growing around that place. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's a real bodybuilding culture.
And I think it's a little bit different to the commercial gyms as well because they've obviously got the old school photos on the wall. They've got the pictures with the stars that have been in there. They've got the old school equipment, and it's just motivating. Some of the commercial gyms, people are just there to flaunt their stuff or just get in there and get it done without any purpose behind their training.
Yeah. It's gyms are funny, but and there's plenty of them, and everyone's training in there. But let's start here. So you were born in 1989, huh? So are you 36?
Do I look it?
No,
Take
you
the
don't.
hat off, maybe. Like, yeah.
I look 36. You look my age. No, you're 36 because I'm born in 1989, right? So the runt of the family, man. I don't know. Are you the runt of the family now?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Definitely. I think I took my dad's side of the genetics. So my mum's Italian. She's quite short.
Yep.
And my dad was Australian with an English background. So Nonna's probably like that high now.
Yeah.
And mum's decreasing as well.
Yeah.
My brother and sister kind of took that side of it. It's funny. I'll show you a photo of it later, but I was actually blonde, white, and my brother and sister were brown hair, brown skin. And I used to get asked all the time. My mum used to get asked if I was adopted, and that was your kid. So
wow,
completely different.
Yeah, so you'll question if you're part of the family, and you'll question if you're Natty.
Yeah,
people that I heard anybody that gets mistaken for taking the gear is usually later on looked as a compliment. Like if they think I'm on the gear, I must be doing it right. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Because if that's what they believe, but yeah, I think genetics. Yeah, you've got it. And well, blonde, and your eyes aren't blue, so I always say the blonde, brown. But yeah, I mean,
I had blonde hair and blue eyes, and the eyes changed.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So now they're like a brownie kind of green.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Now it's just grey and.
Well, grey's in apparently. Apparently, grey's in. You know what I mean? And you grew up like a very loving, caring environment with the family. Meant everything. We didn't come from a wealthy family, but we had everything. Which suburb did you grow up in?
I grew up it started off as Ryde.
Ryde, yeah. No, right.
So now it's Putney. So they separated the two.
Oh, have they?
With the same postcode. So one sits more close to the water than the other one.
Is Putney closer to the water?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's the affluent areas now, and they're also very expensive areas.
So my dad bought there in 1978 or something like that.
80 grand?
27.
Yeah.
1,000 square metre block. Apparently Putney was shit to live in because Parramatta River used to be so polluted, it used to smell.
Yes.
And no one wanted to live there, so no one ever wanted to live on the water.
Yes.
But now, different story.
Hey guys, Steve here. I hope you're enjoying the podcast. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. You know the drill. We'd love you to subscribe. We'd love you to hit the notification bell. Why? It gets us out there, allows us to go and get bigger, better, greater. We've already had some great guests, as you know, but we want to continue this. We want to continue this journey with you. So if you could, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you're notified each time we put up a new podcast. Thank you for allowing me to take you away from the podcast. Let's get back to it. What do you think of the property prices? See, this is a bodybuilding podcast, but we're also about life. So I don't want to...
The prices in Putney?
In general, like how do you see the way things are now?
Like I lived in Putney now like most of my life, and you're looking at where places used to be 500 grand for like an actual house with bedrooms. I'll give you like a premium example. Mum probably won't listen to this, so it's fine.
Yeah.
So dad bought for 27 grand. They built on it in 1989. Probably would have cost them, 100, 200 grand max.
Yeah.
It's now a $4.5 million house.
Yeah.
So I guess it's like, how do you now get into the market? How hard it would be without borrowing to the hills and doing massive repayments on your way back.
I was listening to a podcast with Mike Boris. First time I ever heard him speak some logic in relation to property, because usually they speak no logic. And then I heard this other guy. He does another podcast that goes against the government. I don't know who. He's ex-military guy. He speaks well, but he spoke about. So this is the thing, and I'll just say for our listeners. And so my dad, when he bought his property, $22,000, right? And what did your dad do for work, if you don't mind me asking?
He did a few things. He's kind of a bit of an entrepreneur. He started in panel beating.
Oh, yeah.
Went into, that caused him a bit of damage through the years, but went into, from panel beating, he worked for the council. Yeah. And he started his own business, which would have been big back then if he continued it as called Easy Wash, where it was a car wash that comes to you, and it's towing. He had a 1971 XY, which was pretty cool, towing a trailer in the 90s.
No way. Was it a 6 or an 8?
We still got it. My brother's got it up in Queensland. So one owner, XY
V8?
Falcon 500, 302 Windsor.
Wow, that's that's worth about 100 and something grand, maybe a bit more. It is.
So original paint, besides some of the guards, which he tried to flare in. My brother. It went from a column shift bench seat manual to now 4-speed top loader on the floor.
Yeah. 9-inch diff probably.
347.
Yeah. He's got a race. He's got to probably shake her. I'm a Ford guy.
Yeah, so was he.
Yeah, I'm a Ford guy. I had a 1967 XR 1967 XR 289 Windsor. That was the first shape. So it was the XR, which looks like the XY, but it's got round light at the back.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah. And then it was an XT.
Yeah.
And then it's XW and then XY. So before the XR was the XPs. Remember those XPs, the 2 doors and 4 doors, they look like. So mine was a 289 Windsor. It was one owner to, but it got smashed. Someone hit it. And back then I never knew. I mean, when I never knew what it was worth, it was funny. The insurance company, I insured it for $2,000, right? Because that's all it was worth. You thought they gave me $5,000 back because of it was already growing in agreed value. That's what I'm saying is it was appreciating then. I went, mate, they gave me $5,000. They've made a mistake. I took the money and ran. But so what I was going to say with property was, and why I mentioned your dad's work is, and this is for everyone listening, and I have a bit of a sore spot when it comes, because I love property. I was heavily involved in it, not as heavy as right now, but I'm still in it. But so my dad, like your dad, bought property for $22,000. It was really probably 4 times their wages. That's what it is, or 3 times their wages. That's what it is. It's 3 times, 4 times. So you buy something. So your dad probably didn't even ask for a promotion, didn't even want to be a manager. I'll just say it. Well, my dad was a gardener for the council. Yep. Didn't ask for nothing. But my dad's wages eventually reached $22,000. So in other words, you're talking about a $4 million punty house. To what extent what do you have to do to earn $4 million a year? You literally have to be running a multinational.
You can't work for someone.
1, and 2, it needs to be big business, and you need to be high up as the CEO, if anything. So what I'm getting at is they didn't even ask for promotions, and their wages made the property price. Where we are today. So even when I bought my first property, my wages were 3 times the property price. So I was on 50K. My first property was 150. What I mean is, everything was feasible. But now, to earn 3 times the wage of $1 million property, you've got to be on $250,000 a year. You have to be on $250,000. Only sole person we're talking about. Sole person, $250,000. And that's what I'm saying. That whole thing is crazy, man. So I don't know why we've turned property into this. I don't know what it is, what we've done with it, but it's really gone crazy here in Australia. I think it's
similar to you. I think bought back in 2000 and probably like 14 years ago.
Yeah.
I was down near Wollongong in Belambie. It was like I was an apprentice plumber at the time, getting paid $290 a week, but still was able to manage to get a deposit together and still manage to make repayments. Where now it's like you said, $250,000 to at least make the repayments.
Yeah.
If you're borrowing like a 1.5 mil, then it's like 10 grand a month repayment. So it's like, it's pretty nuts. And not everyone's paying that much, are they?
I don't know what they're doing, man. I think I'm scratching my head. So for me, I don't know. And you can't even bank rob anymore. They don't have cash in the banks anymore. So what do? Go in there and hold them up for a bank transfer. Listen, transfer. I don't know what to do.
I think, like you said, the only way is like either starting your business, get a high role promoting job, but that's going to take you years.
Yeah.
But the other thing is taking risks, invest in shares, stocks. That's a gamble at the end of the day as well.
I think, like I said, I think you just got. I think I think the mindset is instead of saving for a deposit, go fucking make money so you can buy it outright. But find whatever that is. Focus on that. Focus on finding something that pulls in a couple of mil a year, and then go buy your property. But to try to save up for a deposit and then we'll repay it, I don't know. I don't know how this is working, but it's they've baffled me. And when they talk about it, I always think to myself, "Fuck, mate, it's simple mathematics. It's unattainable what's happening to property." But they try to make it sound like everyone should save for a 5% deposit, which is $50,000 for $1 million property, but it's still $1 million property, man. You know what I mean? Or 50,000.
Like, still got to repay that back at a higher rate.
They're funny people. This government, but you know they actually work for others. They stopped working for us. So you were a sporty kid, yeah, and you played soccer. A true half Italian would love playing soccer. Yeah. What position did you play?
Always wanted to be the spotlight, so I was always a striker. Always wanted to score the goal, finish the game off. Yeah. I think that's the only position I basically played throughout my whole time.
Yeah.
So,
striker, man. I tell you, that was
funny story. I actually started growing. I was a lot taller than the other kids by the time I was in primary school.
Yeah.
So I got questioned of my age a lot of times. Am I playing because I could just dominate them?
Yeah.
And I was questioned like, is that kid like the actual age? So,
I played defender for a little while, and then I played midfield or on the wing. I guess I liked scoring goals, but I liked setting up goals. I don't know what it was, but like you said, I don't think I liked the limelight. I think even though I've got a podcast, I still don't like the limelight. But
it's nice and humble of you.
Yeah, I don't know why, but
I liked winning. I think I liked winning from an early age, and that just stuck with me the whole time.
I think I should get that mindset. What are you talking about? I think. What is it? Well, then tell us what is a winning mindset? How does that start from young? Because you said something when we were talking downstairs. You said you don't compete. These are my words now.
Yeah.
You said you don't compete to want to just take part. You compete to win. And I love that because Wendy Fortina just posted something that was on a podcast with us, and I think I asked her the question, how come... I mean, aren't we all... That's what I'm saying is some people go and bodybuild to just get on stage. Maybe they've achieved something. Maybe they've come in too fresh. But you said you like to compete to win. Explain that. Explain what that means.
I think it's stems from an early age as well. What I mean when I want to compete to win and not just to show up. Like in any sport and bodybuilding, you're training tirelessly. You're taking hours out of your day. You're doing everything in your possibility to either get on that stage or be a part of that team, whether it's individual or as a team, to win. And I feel that, like, if you're doing all that work, why wouldn't you want the recognition? If you're going to put your mind to something, why don't you try achieve as far as you can go with it? Because if you have that mentality throughout training, gym training, sport training, like, that's going to drive you so much harder than just turning up to show up, just getting on there. You're not going to have that same drive. So you will come up short because you're not willing to sacrifice everything to get there.
Yeah, I think myself, I didn't compete. I could have. I guess I didn't want to lose, and that's what I was afraid of. So I didn't compete because I only wanted to win, and that thinking about maybe not winning was a bit of a detriment to my mind. So I always wonder with these winning attitudes people getting on stage, because I think it's definitely a certain edge people have. And I think as well, I think if you are going to compete, this is myself, I don't think you go to take part. I think, like I said, who was it? They said, Terry said, you don't want to be a competitor. You want to be a contender. You know, you want to be the contender up on stage. So, like I said, I watch you guys up on stage and, it just mesmerizes me, like what a winning attitude is, because I guess I have it, but sometimes I don't. And I guess being judged concerns me, and afraid to be exposed to losing I think I'm a sore loser. That's one. I think I'm a sore loser. But what I've come to terms with now is I've accepted being a sore loser, and I think that's what's making me compete, because I'm okay. I know that as long as I'm competing in business and in life, not yet the stage yet. Maybe I will do one day stage. Was a possibility, but I always know that as long as I feel like I'm competing against a really good contender, then I'm happy if the right guy wins. Like if he's like yourself, you blow me away. But what I'm getting at is, I think that's what I've learned. I've learned to praise the one that you've gone up against that actually beat you but deserves it. You go, wow, yeah, like I think that's what's good. I think that's how competing should be. One, to win, and two, if you do lose, you lost against a valid contender. You know what I mean?
Yeah, someone that I guess deserved it at the time.
Yeah.
I guess being like so successful when I did start like bodybuilding and coming into like recently competing and getting a bit of a reality check, you then, like you said, you can't look at it as like, why did that guy win? I was better than him. You need to look at it from a perspective of like, okay, how can I learn from this? What can I do better? What didn't I do correctly? And how can I improve for next year? And I've had people like, you probably know Charlie Duke, who's reached out to me and he's like, you look great.
I've got him on the podcast tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll do. Yeah. He's always kind of been there in the background for me as well. He's like, you look great. But he's like, don't just because you didn't bring anything home, he goes, don't let that put you down, because he goes, at the end of the day, you need to compete against yourself. You need to improve on yourself. And eventually,
great advice. Bodybuilding
is a sport where it takes time for you to get noticed. If you just keep showing up better and better, eventually your name will get out there.
Yeah, I also believe, and this is what I like about bodybuilding, right? Like, one, the stage is amazing. The stage is amazing. But having an amazing physique in your general everyday life, I think, is even more amazing. Why do I feel like that? Because I've seen people, because again, the pinnacle, I've seen people back in my 20s, and I look at them today and they don't even look like bodybuilders, right? And so I just think to myself, I've got the long game on you. I'm at 56 and I'm doing everything possible to beat aging. I still want, to look muscular, but I still push myself. Even yesterday I was at the gym and I was wondering to myself, why do I push so hard with the legs? Why am I running 7 plates on either side on the leg press machine? But then I realized I still think I'm fucking 25. And if I still think I'm fucking 25, I'm going to keep going, because if I start pretending, let's go light, let's go easy, which I haven't gone to the point to, what I'm getting at, I haven't gone to the point to hurting myself. I'm not going to go that far. What I'm saying is, but I'm not going to sit there and just do 4 plates and do 20 reps, 4 plates, 20 reps, and then get up and go to the next machine. What I'm saying is, this progressive overload goes for years, goes for decades. And like, you look amazing now, and I'm sure the stage isn't what makes you amazing. I think you're amazing in the real world, and I think many bodybuilders forget about that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
like I said, you can rip yourself right down, shred. Everything will be revealed if you have muscle under there. That will be revealed. That's one. But two, yeah, you looked amazing. But sustain it for decades. We're talking about chicken and rice for decades, going to the gym for decades, changing your routines, being complacent and becoming a little bit of a fat bastard, which I did at one stage. And I went, whoa, who is this guy? And then I went, right, what does it take? Back to 5 meals a day, weighing my food, going for walks, getting to the gym, isolating, muscle memory. Because that's, like I said to you, but to me, my contenders now are every other 50-year-old. Every other 50-year-old is my contender now, like for me. So not the stage, not what they look like on the stage, what they look in general life. And like I said to you, there are people that I think when they bank too much on the stage, I think they forget what bodybuilding is about. And I think it's about personal growth, personal development, and I don't know, having a certain persona, a certain body that you're proud of, that can sit well in a suit, can sit well in casual wear, but I think sit well in business meetings, sit well in restaurants, sit well as a lover, sit well in every aspect of your life, sit well at the beach, sit well in your sports car, sit well everywhere, don't you think?
There's plenty of layers to not just training, and like you start to discover that a little bit later, that it's not just about the training side of it. It's okay, the training side of it is great. I always made a promise to myself. I remember, I think when I was like in my early 20s, I said, I don't want a stomach ever, unless it's done with intent. I always believe people always ask me, is like, I don't want to bulk. Like, how do you bulk? And I was like, as long as you do something with intent, it's okay. If you do it by accident, it's not okay.
Yeah.
Because then you have control over what you're doing, and you're doing it for a purpose. Because there's a lot of males out there, like I've realized that aren't competing, but they're scared to put on weight. Because they don't now, like, because socially they don't want to be seen. They want that six pack, they want their abs, they want everything, but I believe they're not going to improve if they don't go down that cycle of like being comfortable with putting your body through
like a bulk,
going through a bulk, and then you got to let go of like that physique, and that's a problem. People hold on to that, and people get obsessed with it, and they're not content. But you got to go to places you haven't been before to then produce growth. And you start to kind of realize through bodybuilding, like you meet a lot of people through bodybuilding, but like I was trying to get at, you do it to compete, and there is an ego that is there. But then you start to realize, like, and especially for me this year, through posting my journey on social media, that you're actually impacting people in a way that you didn't think you're impacting. They don't just care about your physique. Yeah, it looks good and it's inspiring, but actually motivating them to get up and get started themselves. And you're helping pull someone out of something that they may be going through.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, it's one of the toughest sport, and you feel like a bag of shit when you're about 2 weeks out, sitting at 5% body fat, but you're still getting up, showing up. And I think people look at that and say, why aren't I doing it? What's my excuse?
How do you? I've never done such an extreme. I have prepped for significant moments in my life, turning 30, turning 40, turning 50. I've never missed the mark on those ones, and I do, 16, 20 weeks out stuff. And like I said, when I was turning 50, I even went on a cycle that year, right? But what's it like when you go to those depths when you can't be bothered? How do you do it, and how do you know you're still productive in that?
It's never
window.
It's never a matter, like, for me personally, it's never
or was it just motion? Just keep going motion, no thinking.
Yeah, pretty much. For me, it's never been a fact of like I can't be bothered, because like once you lock in, like I said, you want to go out there to win, so you'll go to every length possible. You'll put your body through what it needs to get to, and towards the end, like, I was, if I can swear, pretty much fucked.
You can swear.
And I, like, it wasn't even my body that wanted to do it. It was my mindset telling me you have to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I used to almost not look forward to doing a leg session because it'll take so much energy out of me. But it was a mind that was pushing you through that.
Yeah.
So you just, I don't know, you just it's weird. You're so razor focused on the end goal, and you're on a timeline. So like every session has to count. You can't not give 100%. You've got to give more than 100% because you're so close now.
Yeah.
Like why waste, say, the previous 10 weeks? And you need to get on that stage to show up, to win, but also show up to yourself, to prove to yourself, I put everything I could into it. And every time I compete, I want to look back and say, could I have done more? And my answer has to be no.
Yeah. Was there ever? I hope you like black coffee, man.
That's all I'm used to.
Well, this is a Turkish or Greek, whatever you call it.
So I'm going to be flying.
So, I'm not flying. It's going to be very bitter, creamy, no sweeteners in there. But there's a sediment at the bottom, so that the sediment. But the thing is, sip away, let it calm down. But I don't think it's gonna. I actually like it better now than cafe coffee. I find it more of a delicacy, but it is an acquired taste. It's quite hard on you. But
I'm super responsive to anything that goes in my body. Unfortunately,
all right.
I don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing.
Maybe. Did you? What was the hardest bit about prep for you? What did you find the most challenging? Right, that's one.
Yep.
And the second question is, when did it suddenly become engaged again? So what I mean is, when did you look at your body and look, you're so close, and then you got motivated again? Well, what bit did you get motivated again? But what bit did you struggle? What was your biggest struggle? And then what was it when you go, fuck, I like what I see, like you're liking yourself and we're going to put the pedal down.
Are we talking about this prep or
this one?
Yeah.
Well, you could talk about any one you want.
They're all quite similar, right?
Yeah,
you've got to get
whichever.
down to the same level of conditioning. Your body just looks better, or it's more improved. So, I guess the biggest challenge. So for me, just a bit of context. Like this was my longest prep, and it was 12 weeks.
Yep.
And I probably didn't even need 12 weeks. I probably can prep in 8 to 10 weeks because
Yep.
my body just drops. So this one I dropped from 112 kilos to 91 in 12 weeks.
Wow.
So because I did the classic division, I had no choice because it's based off your height, which I don't like at all because you have to push. For me, I had to push my body to an extreme just to get under weight cap. I came in 3 kilos heavier than I did last year, which is good, but I was still right near the weight cap. And to drop 21 kilos in 12 weeks, it's not normal.
No.
You think it's normal at the time, and you speak to people, and they're like, "What do you mean you got to drop 21 kilos? How are you going to do that?" And I go, "Get done. Don't worry about it." I guess so. The motivating part is when you start to see the weight drop off. It continues to motivate you, and when I train and prep, I wear a T-back singlet. I'm not one that wears oversized baggy shirts because I get motivated by seeing what's moving and what's working.
Okay, yeah.
So if I can see the muscle fibers come out, it pushes me harder. And I always got taught the shittier you feel, the better you look, unfortunately, which is true.
Wow.
So like you've got the community around you at the gyms you train at. Everyone's telling you, you look good, you've changed. So they're always constantly motivating you, pushing you up because deep down you feel terrible. You kind of feel like you don't have the energy, but you're almost there, and the people telling you how good you look, how much you've changed, and you're changing on a weekly, daily basis is giving you that drive and motivation to keep going, people's positive messages towards you and reinforcing you. I guess the challenges that come along with that in a physical sense is this is the first time it kind of happened to me because I don't know if it was how much I had to lose or because I started to play around with oral anabolics for the first time ever.
Yep.
I would train let's say 2 clients in the morning. I'll do my cardio in the morning. Ended up waking up at about 2:33 a.m. by the end of it, averaging 4.5, 5 hours sleep.
Just can't sleep?
Yeah, towards the end of it. And I would go and do my I'll do an hour of walking. I didn't have any cardio. My prep was based off 20,000 steps a day, which is equivalent to 17 kilometers a day of just walking.
Yep.
I'll train a few clients and then I would train, and then I'll lie down for probably 4 to 5 hours.
Wow.
And fall asleep or fell asleep, and I had no energy. I remember trying to wash my car, and I'm like, I fucking can't.
Yeah.
And I kind of got a little bit obsessive, and I was scared to walk outside because I feared if I got sick, then all of this would be thrown out the door.
Wow. So it created anxiety.
Yeah. That didn't want to get like the flu when things are going around. So I stayed on the treadmill and did all my steps, and probably being indoors wasn't probably the healthiest. I tried to walk outdoors and I'm like, I'm either going to get sick or I don't have the energy where I can just hop off and just get off.
Wow.
So there's some of the challenges, and I guess we'll probably touch on it a bit later as well. The biggest challenge for me was breaking up with my partner 4 weeks, like halfway through my prep, which I think mentally takes a massive impact. And you try to compartmentalize it and push it to the side, because when you're in prep, you're fully focused on the end goal, and you tend to, not everyone does it, but coming from my perspective, I did it. You speak to people, you socialize with them, but you tend to start pushing people away because you don't have the energy to start speaking to them. It sucks when you look back at it, because people, all they want to do is help you, support you. Like I remember when I'd be at the gym and I'd be like, someone would come up to me and I'm like, fuck's sake. Because you time in your rest and you just have only energy to do that because you've had to muster up so much, like you have to get so much willpower to muster up enough energy to do your session. And you're like, I don't want to get distracted, I don't want to talk. And it's like, it becomes shit like that because people are just genuinely interested.
Yeah.
But you're in your head, you're like, you have nothing left to give anyone else.
Yeah.
So unfortunately you start to stay in your own lane, push people away. And I think that also, unfortunately, started to push my partner away at the same time. They always said, don't make any stupid decisions in prep, but...
So it actually magnifies things, puts a spotlight on maybe some of the weaknesses we already hold within ourselves, I guess. What I'm saying is, so how, if I can ask, how long were you with your girlfriend for? 2.5
years.
Did the prep bring up what was maybe sometimes underlying already there or not? Or did it, I'm just asking the question.
Yeah, I believe it brought up underlying issues. We did start to have a few problems before the prep, and I think that just amplified it.
What were, we talk about you, not her,
yeah.
Right? What were some of the problems you think you had? Like, what were the problems that were amplified?
Throughout the relationship, or what they amplified?
Like that bring it to fruition. Like, for me, I would say if I was going to talk about sometimes my relationships or my recent one, and it's a funny one. Not that it's on and off. It's on. I've learned that someone else's reaction, I shouldn't dive into it so much.
Yeah,
I should let people react. So I have to learn to sit back and hear some of the things I don't want to hear, but they're not necessarily directed towards me, but I'm thinking they're directed towards me. So what did you learn a little bit about yourself?
I think something similar, like someone's trying to give you advice, or she would kind of try to give me advice, or they would do something that they'd either usually do. And because we had a couple of issues, I guess, prior to that, where kind of we felt like we weren't loving each other as much as we used to do. Any little thing that person did wrong would be a trigger, or it would come across in your head with a completely different intent that they had come across. So there'll just be conflict.
Yeah.
And I guess being in that state, you kind of amplify the conflict, and you unfortunately don't actually see it for what it is, and you start to close off that other person. And
what happens in the end? Like, all right, so you break up in a prep, so you're in the trenches. What do you go through?
In prep?
Yeah. What did you? So can I ask? Were you angry? Did you cry? Did you feel relief? This is not against the person. I'm talking about how did you feel that inside a prep when you're in the gut, you're in the trenches, you got no energy, you've got all your systems in place, you've got to get back to your systems, but your emotions have been smashed and now you're thinking a lot too. What happened to you? Did you know that 1.2% of the Australian and New Zealand population between the ages of 16 and 19 are lacking in protein? Don't be that 1.2%. Go to nutritionwarehouse.com.au to get all your supplement needs. And why not use a cheeky discount code MTP15 to get 15% off all your orders. nutritionwarehouse.com.au, my number one supplement store. Hey guys, just want to thank one of our major sponsors, Alka-Power Water, as I cradle their 10-litre box here. alkapower.com.au. Go check them out. They're in your major retail stores, supermarkets, and please get yourself alkalined with Australia's number one alkaline water, Alka-Power. alkapower.com.au. Go check them out now.
It's quite interesting because you start to, even though all that was going on, like we didn't sleep in the same room for a while. I slept on the lounge, and I was like, my mentality was like, people are homeless and you're sleeping on the lounge. Shut up. Like, it's like, you've got somewhere, you've got a roof over your head. And I was like, wait, you don't have the right to complain.
Wow.
So you start to...
Even through the prep?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it's weird. It's like your emotions almost... You almost don't have any, if I want to admit that or not.
Admit it.
Like,
I'd need to hear that. I'd agree with you, possibly.
It's like you're... Like the person I am now is completely different to the person I am now because you block out everything. You've got tunnel vision on the end goal and you're like, you try to be this man within and you're like, that didn't affect me. That's not going to affect me. I can't let someone hinder the progress towards my end goal.
You become a bit of a
machine. You start to, that's it. You become robotic and all that matters is getting your meals in, training. If you're fucked, you rest. And then like you have no emotional capacity to have a conversation around fixing the relationship or you've got no clarity around it. So it was kind of never going to get fixed within the time. And you just become that robotic and you kind of in your head with transparency is like, all right, now I have no one bothering me. Back to the task at hand. No one's telling me that I need to do this. No one's telling me that I need to go here this weekend or I need to do that. You can just solely focus on this. And that's it. But like you look back at it and you're like, what the fuck were you doing?
Yeah. Was it not that you're with this person, but was it with every prep you seem to go into those areas? Was it the same or this one was a bit different?
This one was a little bit different. I think the previous preps, like when you get down to a certain level of body fat, like your patience runs out regardless.
Yep.
And even the year before, she always reminded me, she's like, she's in the fitness world as well.
Oh,
she's
yeah, I was going to ask the question.
prepping now as well.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're going to break up once more.
Huh?
Even though I heard...
She's prepping, not me.
but it's her turn. It's her turn. So what I'm getting at is, I know you're kind of mending things, and I'm happy to hear that. To be honest, I'm happy to hear it. I'm a very much an advocate of, you've got to go through shit. Like, I think, I always say, if you can't be in a relationship and have a moment of screaming and shouting, as long as it's not personal, inflicting on the other, and you're putting them down, like you're not. It's because words is just like physical. You're not hurt. You can't hurt people, right? So words are very important. I mean, we fuck up with words too. Don't worry, I'm no saint. But what I'm trying to say to you is, I think arguments, debates are a priority for a relationship, because I don't know about you, I've actually watched my partner, or when someone blows their top, I start laughing. The reason I laugh is I see their passion. Like I really see like fucking this, it kind of makes me realize, well, we're in a serious conversation here, and I start to realize I'm actually just arguing, debating for this. What I'm getting is I've screamed and she's screamed. And sometimes I actually feel the passion in it. Like I go, wow, this is really passionate. You know, I'm trying to say, like, sometimes you just, sometimes you go, fuck, enough now though. This is too much. But so so when, like I said, you're laser focused, you get to that point, she gave you a pre-warning, hey, you know, you're going for a prep.
Yeah, like even
that doesn't save anyone,
I think
does
the year
it?
before, she's like, when we're at more of a calm state with each other, she's like, you're like and I believe in it too, you choose to do this, so don't bring other people around when you're feeling like shit. You got to show up the way you'd normally do for people around you, because it's not fair that you take it out on them because this is your sole decision. They didn't make you do it. And I believe that as well, but lost track of that a little bit because it's like you're basically focused. And I think throughout our relationship, I was helping her heal to an extent through a few different things. And I would be the calmness of the relationship. And, I'll be there. Like you said, you would have a laugh. I'd embrace them and hug them.
Of course.
And then when you get a little bit, I guess, you get a bit less patient. So I started to run out of patience. And then when you run out of patience, I started to fight fire, put fuel on fire, which was never going to end well.
But you're also spent at the end of the day,
But it's no excuse.
No, hear me out. Look, I think, no, there's no excuse. No, you're right, man. There's no excuse. But I think sometimes it depends what kind of character you are, okay? It depends the character. I mean, I don't know exactly. I think I can work out the character. But with myself, I really don't like people feeling sorry for me. I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just don't want the air conditioning on, Chris, for a little bit. It's getting a bit warm in here. I dislike people. I don't favour people feeling sorry for me. And I remember my mum, she'd go, "Oh, Stavro." That's my name, Steve, Stavro in Greek. "Oh, Stavro, poor Stavro." And I would say to her, no poor Stavro. Because you saying poor Stavro is you're sending me energy. That's what you're sending me. Even if you live 10 suburbs away, you're sitting there on the couch going, "Oh, poor Steve, he struggles, everyone against him," or "Oh my God, he's working too hard." I said, fuck that. So some people like myself don't want that. And then there's those that love it.
Yeah.
They want you to feel sorry for them. And I get it, but there's also sometimes to a certain point, like how far can we, I'm going to sound like a bit, maybe I don't know what I'm going to sound like, but I'm saying is how far can you just feel sorry for someone when actually, and maybe you're the same, I don't know, I'm actually a big fan of the person that I feel sorry for, but I want to turn it around and say, you're a champion. I want to say that you can do it. But the fact is they want you to sit there constantly going, poor you, poor you, poor you. And you just want to go, that's shit. Don't you want me to say to you, go you, go you, go you. But there's a balance.
Not everyone's like that.
And if I can, sometimes being that person to somebody doesn't help them. Sometimes you got to be in the pity party. You got to sit there. You got to have a listen. And it's got nothing to do with you and your relationship. Just making sure clarity, terms and conditions. Read the fine print here. I'm talking about myself. What I'm getting at is even I've learned that. Or I learned this from my psychologist. I'm going to share something. I learned this from my psychologist. I saw a psychologist for a long time. Not because I didn't see a psychologist when I was bad. I actually saw a psychologist when I was good.
That's interesting to hear.
Yeah, honestly. No, I never. I went and saw a psychologist from the age of 40 to 50. Man, if I tell you my story, you'll die. You'll die. But it wasn't from my marriage breaking, but that compounded a lot of things. And I got advice from the wrong people. I just let everyone know, you get the advice from the wrong people. What I'm saying is, if you're building a house, you're renovating, it's your first reno, don't talk to people that haven't renovated. Talk to people that have renovated. If you are in a relationship that you want it to be better, talk to those that are in a relationship that's working well and it's been there for decades.
Yeah.
And if you're in a struggling relationship, or you want to learn how not to fuck up, talk to people that are fucked up. Like, talk to me how you can break a marriage. Why not? I can share that with you. How one feels. All these things matter. If you want to know money, talk to someone that has money, not that drives a Hyundai or a Kia. Who drives a Kia? I don't think you heard it. But sorry. It's a brand new one. It's a Cerato.
They're nice these days.
What is it? What is a Cerato sports one? It's got to be
tech heavy.
No, it's cute. It's cute. But having said that, so what I learned from my psychologist which I'll share with everyone. When I told her in a situation that was going bad and I said I was angry, she said to me, good. I said, what? She goes, yeah, you're angry. I went, isn't that a bad thing? She goes, no. What's worse is if you're in a happy situation and you're angry, and when you're in a... So in other words, we disregard all our emotions. So when you're at a funeral, what's the first emotion you've got at a funeral? Sadness.
Yeah.
So as if you're going to want to try to make everyone happy at this funeral.
That's true.
So someone who's crying, embrace them, man. It's okay. Yes. Someone... And the other thing is it can be the smallest thing. It can be the smallest. This is the thing. We need big excuses. So when someone goes to you, I don't feel great. Let's say, not your partner, a partner says, I don't feel great. And you go, why? What's wrong? And they say, I didn't sleep well. That's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough. If they want to stomp their feet, but that's the reason, that's enough. But we've got to say, no, it's just you just didn't sleep well. But no, it just, maybe for you, sleep doesn't bother you. But for them, it did. And that's what we do. We smother, we don't throw fuel over it. We try to put it out. But so when I see someone angry and carrying on, I don't butt in. Even my kids. Mate, I'm intel. Like, what happened? Why? And I just listen like they're angry. And I just let them go. They're angry. And when they're sad, they're sad. And when they're happy, they're happy. And when they're worried, they're worried. I don't, like you shouldn't worry, you shouldn't. And I learned that from my psychologist because I used to go in there and she'd go, because I'd say, someone say this, and she goes, yeah, you have every right to be angry. I went, my ex doesn't think I have every right. She goes,
yeah.
What does it matter? You have every right. And this was the other bit that really got me with the psychologist. This one killed me. Even if someone's lying to you, but they've told you what they've told you, you have to accept it. So if I took, I would explain my story, but I don't want to. But let's just say someone did something and you had some evidence for it, but they told you what they did after it. So in other words, if I said, I saw you holding my, I'm just going to make up something. I saw you holding my wallet. I said, yeah, I was holding your wallet. Then you must have taken my money.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I didn't. And you go, and you know they probably took your money, but wait a minute. You have to accept it. And that's what my psychologist told me. So when I used to go, he said this, and she goes, and? I go, yeah, it's a lie. She goes, and how do you know?
Yeah.
And I went, and she did this, and they go, how do you know? I said, I don't. She goes, well, you can only, but he hit me up. She's a constant liar. Yeah. But you're going to make up stories now. You have to take their word. Now, what are you going to do with it? So in other words, you just got to move on. And that's what I learned. I learned that whatever someone tells you, it's not for you to analyze. It's for you to move on with. Like, move on. What hurts the most is them if they lie to you, not if they're lying to you. So that's what I'm saying is at the end of the day, you can't catch people out. I can tell you, I wake up at 6 a.m. I might have got up at 10, but you're trying, like at the end of the day, you just go, yeah, all right, 6 o'clock.
And I guess you shouldn't allow it to impact you or
No.
the way you feel, because it's not your concern to be worrying about at the end of
I
the
can
day.
only go with what you told me.
Yeah.
Now, if I go down the wrong road because of what you told me, I'll find my way back. But that's what I'm saying is you catching people out is a fucking waste of time. And I learned that from my psychologist. So I said to her, like I said, again, many things, but I probably said something like, and this was her excuse, or this was her answer. And my psychologist didn't go, well, let's get into that answer and find out where it's coming from. She just goes, okay. Oh, I know, this was the answer. And she goes, okay.
You wanted more out of it?
She goes, where are we going with this? Unless we dive into her, we're just diving into you. How are you feeling about it? Can you move on from it? And she said to me, what happens if it's got an element of truth? You're fucking up. Just go with what you're told. And that's what I've learned. So I don't really, like I said, I find that in relationships, you've got to let people have their emotion.
Yeah.
I've got to have my emotion. So I don't give a fuck. If you don't like my emotion, that's my emotion. But I can't make people think the same way. That's one. So people have emotions. Oh my God, you didn't sleep well. That's a good enough excuse. And they always say to me, is it? Shouldn't Mount Everest be collapsing? I go, no, not sleeping enough is good enough. Okay. And they seem better. They think like, wow, this person just told me I didn't sleep well and I can act angry. Yeah, because you're restless, whatever. But it doesn't mean you get it back in return though.
Yeah.
I can say that to that person and they go, oh, you fucking little.
Like you said, like you made a good point where you can't expect people to act the way you do. And I'm like only starting to learn that now.
No.
You've got, I guess it stems as well. I was having a discussion before where the way you were brought up has a massive impact on the person you are now. And if you've been taught a certain way, you look up to your parents, they're your guide. And you don't really think anything of it or think anything bad until you put yourself into a relationship and you're like, well, why isn't that person doing it like that? And it's like you've all of a sudden come in with an expectation that these tasks aren't being performed the way that you're used to doing them. And that's something that like I'm going to continue to work on and continue to drop because not everyone's the same. People can hang up a shirt differently and it's still going to dry, right? It's like, why should that let you bother? And it wouldn't be, if everyone was so replicated, there'll be, I guess, nothing interesting about that person. And I think going back to my relationship, it's pretty interesting because we both stepped out of it and we've connected and because we ended on pretty much non-talking terms. It's been like 3 months and we reconnected. I approached her at the gym. I go, I've got to drop my ego, right? And
nice.
I was there training where I used to work and she works and I was like, I've got to drop my ego. And I just like from the way we ended it, because my headspace from going away was more clear and had clarity. And I was just like, because she's competing, I go, I just want to wish you all the success in your competition. And then from there, we've been able to speak and reflect back onto the relationship. And it's quite crazy that I describe it as you being in murky waters. You can't see what's going on until you step out of it and understand like what you actually did to each other and the way you kind of treated each other. And I guess it's when you would have arguments, we kind of now realize that we weren't listening to each other. We were being defensive and we wanted to be right. And there was no resolution ever. And that's when it continued to go in the wrong direction. Obviously amplified by me being in prep. I was like, fuck it, that's done. That's like, if that's the answer you want, that's where we're going to get. We're not like doing anything that's going to cause like resolution. We just had no clarity. It's like stepping outside of it now. You can actually see what was going on.
Like I said, I think like I said to you, I mean, noble of you to go and talk to her and obviously try to form some communication and trying to maybe bring it back. The most important thing is myself, I don't look back, and I hate, like someone can bring up 2 years ago or 3 years ago and I go, fuck. I think to myself, all that work for 3 years and you're still going back 2 years ago. Like all that work for 2 years and you want to go back to that. Like you're diminishing all the work. So, and that's what I just remember. It's the work. I can't take away the problem that we had. I can't take away the disaster that happened. But if you're looking that it took us or whatever 1 year to get to that point of shit, but you're not going to give me a few years to fix that shit, then you're not being fair. So everything is about time. So if 5 years later someone wants to bring back what happened 5 years ago, you go, oh my God, you've missed the 5 years. So it's always about, like I said, it's like growing a muscle. I mean, it doesn't grow overnight. Where you are today, that body of yours at 36, didn't happen at 36.
20 years in the making.
20 years. But no, but what I'm getting at is, it's like, do you know when someone goes, I wish I was like, I should lose some weight. Or I wish I was a bit more fitter. It's only because you didn't think about it a year ago or 2 years ago, but you can think about it now, but you're going to reap the rewards in 2 years' time. It's like planning a holiday. when you decide you want to go on a holiday, you think about it, in 6 months you're going to go to Europe. What do you start doing? You start saving.
Yeah, planning, saving.
Because sometimes you don't have the money, but you're saved to have the money to want to go to Europe. So I think, like I said to you, I think no one puts time. I don't know how to explain it, but what I'm getting at is, if you two or anybody wants to fix anything, no, it's not fixed. Know that.
Yeah.
But no, can you give me a chance to fix it? And if they give you the chance, then you have to be obligated to go fix it. And along the way, you're going to buckle. Like I said, with my girlfriend, I really like her. I think she's my buddy. But I've also realised in some ways I've just realised this, we're different characters, and I've realised sometimes I probably go too far with certain things and I should just keep them inside my head. Yeah. Like, I'll give you an example. One, people listening, but funny question. This is all bodybuilding. I mean, don't worry. But it's about getting to know each other and get to know you. Everyone knows me anyway. But it was the night before I had to go back, and she hates getting up early in the morning. Hates it. Hates it. And she goes, so how are you getting to the airport? And when she always comes to Sydney, it doesn't matter. We never think about that because I can just get up, we go. It doesn't really matter. I said, well, I guess I'm catching an Uber. And all I said was, I said, I'm catching an Uber. And she said to me, are you okay with that? And in actual fact, I am. I said, yeah. But I said, if you wanted to take me, you could get up at 5 and take me. Well, guess what she thought? Oh, that's right. You just want me to get up at 5 and fucking take you. And I went, no, you're not listening.
Taking the message wrong.
Yeah, no, I said to her, I'm happy to catch an Uber, but the alternative is if you got up at 5. What I realise now, just catch the Uber. Yeah. So what I'm getting is we won't fight. Just catch the Uber. But because I said to her, there's two ways to get to the airport. An Uber and you getting up at 5. But I said, you don't want to get up at 5. And she goes, oh, you think I don't want to? And I went, no. I'm happy to catch an Uber. And then we just blew up. And I said, well, fucking get up at 5 and fucking take me. All right, what's wrong? You've been sleeping in for the last 364 days. You don't want to get up one time to take me to the airport at 5 in the morning? You have had a beautiful run. And that was bad. And it got worse. Again, catch the fucking Uber. and last time I went up, Chris, I just shut the fuck up. Even when she said to me, what time do you have to be at the airport tomorrow?
What time?
I went, well, we have to, no, and she said, I said, we have to get up at 5, whatever it was. She goes, okay. And I looked at her and I went, now shut up, Steve. Because
the conversation's done.
Because I didn't even offer the Uber.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to confuse it. I said, no, she's saying she's doing it. Let me see where it goes. And I made it out alive. I made it out. So what I'm getting is sometimes just shut the fuck up and realize, did you ask too many questions and did you imply and they didn't get it? So that's when you go, okay, you know what I mean? Like, are you happy with catching an Uber? And if you go, well, you could take me to the airport. I said, now I don't even say that. I go, fuck, that's going to create an argument. So, and even one time I was on the phone with Chris with you once. He goes, you spent all this time talking to Chris on our walk? I said, but I turned to you a million times saying, okay, I'm on the phone with Chris. She goes, this. Yes.
Pre-programmed answer is always yes.
Yeah. She goes, yes. I go, all right, but you said yes. She goes, couldn't you read it? So now I'm like, the phone rings. I go, can I answer that?
See you, Chris.
No, I go, it's Chris, can I answer? She goes, you can answer. I go, can I answer that? She goes, it's Chris, you can answer. I go, oh, he's hung up, don't worry about it.
He's gone now.
I've made it ring too far. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's just funny, but what I'm getting at is I've realised it's not a problem answering the phone. It's Chris. I don't have a problem if she answered the phone. Or maybe if it was Chris, I'd have a problem. But if it was, talking to her friend. But that doesn't mean she wants to, or he wants to spend time with you.
Yeah.
You just kind of got to realize, you got to take intel. All right, I get it. Why did she have the shits that was on the phone for a walk? Well, she's on a walk with me and she wants to be with me.
It's a personal walk.
But she wants to be with me.
Yeah. They want that time together.
So maybe I should look at it. She wants to be with me. So I'm arguing because I want to talk to Chris. So you learn along the way where you go, you start to, look, you get better at it, especially, I'll just finish this one with my kid. My son was minding my dogs at my house, right? And I got a bird, Melon. You know, I got Melon outside, the lovebird. And my son goes, how many times do you go outside and pat Melon? I go, Melon attacks me, mate. This lovebird bites me. I go, I don't pat it. He goes, and how many times do you bring the bird inside and let it free inside the house, fly around? I said, don't. I said, net with the dogs, I can't, but I don't. Melon bloody attacks all my folders. He goes like this. And do you know Melon should have a partner? My son's going for it, telling me. I kept listening. He goes, you know, it's abuse, what you're doing with the bird. And I just said, okay. I could have argued like, I fucking look after this bird. You're not here. What the fuck do you want to know? But I said, okay. And I let it go. Like, I just knew that we're wasting so much time trying to defend ourselves.
I can relate to you.
Does that make sense? So once you learn, like you're 36, don't worry, I was worse than you. But once you start to get intel. Do you know like the CIA? I have on my vision board, I have the word CIA, Central Intelligence Authority. And CIA's method is get 90% all intel from the other person and only give them 10% of yourself.
Okay.
So really, CIA don't give away. They want to know everything about the other person, and they only give, and the person that is a CIA agent only gives 10% of themselves. So I've realized it's literally sometimes get as much intel of the person and give 10% of the secrets of, like, learn not to get buckled, learn to not take them on, but learn, all right, everything I've heard about you, I can use this. All right, okay, you don't like this. Right, I take note, and then I go, so, and I've learned, to be honest, as I've been with this person for 2.5 years, and we've broken up a few times, but we've never really broken up. And I've never said break up.
Yeah.
Even one time she says to me, you know, if you don't speak to me for 3 days, it's over. I said, and one time she goes, how come you haven't spoken to me? I said, we've gone past 3 days. She goes, what? You know that? I said, well, you told me 3 days. I got intel.
Yeah, we keep that registered in the back of our mind.
But that's intel. So now I know when I'm not talking to her, I go, it's 2 days, I better ring her. Hi, how are you? I'm just, you know. So what I'm getting is no one wants to grab the intelligence and use it in their favor, not to manipulate, but to realize the landmines you step on and realize, like I said to you, like Europe's, like, I'll say one more funny thing. Do you know I write in my diary when a period is? Do you know my diary has a period?
I used to keep note of it too because
No, I do. I have to.
Yeah.
I have to. And I'm the worst at full moon. What do you like at, you know, the full moon?
Yeah. I'm
5 days out. I'm crying at a Toyota ad. I'm crying that the family's, you know, left the bag behind. or I'm angry. Or I'm a loser. Oh, I'm everything on the top of, like, everything. I'm probably telling off Chris as well. You know, everything with the full moon. But all the intel I have to know. I go, okay, this is happening. This is happening. I write a lot of things in my diary. I don't just write that someone says period, you know. But you got to know your other person. And I think you get to like them more when you get to know them. And then you can, because if you like the person, but I don't think you want them to be, what I'm saying is you can't expect the same in return. But like I said, but for me, I told you the Uber Bart, I really realized, I said, why the fuck? When we argued like crazy that night. We were screaming. We didn't even sleep together that night, right?
That's for what?
No, but that's right.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
She didn't sleep on the couch, I didn't, but she got plenty. But that was back then. And I realized, and I did leave angry, but what I realized was, and she did take me to the airport. in the end. She did.
After you've had a fight.
No, but that's what I'm saying to you. So I realised, but no, what I'm saying is it was my fault.
Yeah.
Because I actually went innocently. I was innocent. I just said innocently. I said, you can take me if you want. There's two options. Uber, you. I said, but you don't want to get up. So I've chosen Uber. And then I should have just, like I said.
Stuck to Uber.
I just should have kept quiet, Uber.
That's it. You made your
I would have been
decision.
okay. And I wouldn't have been angry because I know she doesn't want to get up in the morning. That's what I'm saying. I know she doesn't want to get up. And I just innocently said, it's because you don't want to get up. But she didn't like that.
I think I was having this, this discussion. It's like, you haven't made it official, and then as soon as you make it official, all these expectations start flooding out of the doors, and it's like you expect that person now to do everything at the drop of a hat, where it shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't change who the people you are, and it's like I always believed in and try to teach myself: you can't rewind the clock, you can't go back in the past. Whatever's happens.
No,
as long as
what a waste of time.
Now look back at that and understand, grow from the lessons that you've learnt, and try not to implement them going forward. But it's hard. You subconsciously are so conditioned to do what you normally do. So breaking that habit is also difficult. And I guess in a relationship, I've now realized everyone shows a different version of love. There's no right way to love someone. It's just holding space for that person now where you can navigate through your problems. It's like...
Yeah. I once upon a time...
Listen to your partner. That's a key.
I once upon a time rated sex high up there as love relationship, and that was, I'm telling you, firstly, I don't want to take away sex, and I'm not saying it shouldn't be. It should be front and center with everything, but same as communication, same as space. That shouldn't be more than or less. It just should be with everything. Should be this balance.
It should, but it's hard to maintain that balance. Because...
But it's mentally to know that just because it didn't happen a certain night, like the Saturday night is sex night. Yeah. It's not like that. It can be any night sex night, and it can be any night not sex night.
Scheduled.
That's bullshit at the end of that. That's what I'm saying is, and you just got to learn. I think the most important thing is, he's a bit mushy from a guy, but it's more important to have someone special lying next to you than having no one lying next to you. In other words, if you were just having that person for sex, but then when they're gone, that physical person's not there anymore, and then you realize how important that person was just by laying there. And then then you realize what's most important is that they're laying there next to you is what's most important. Everything else,
being in their presence.
So, and I think, like I said to you, and the other thing is, sorry. Someone I heard once on the radio, they said, "What does sorry mean?" Sorry means opening one's heart. That's what you say. Sorry, you open one's heart. But for me, sorry, which is important. But for me, what's more important is I hope I can get time on fixing the problem, that I can look back and say, wow, not only did I say sorry, but for the last, that it's gone now because I learnt my lesson from it, and I reminded myself that if every week I got a little bit better from that problem, that eventually it would go away, not go away, that I become a stronger person for it. And like I said, some people just say sorry and stay there.
Yeah.
And some people think sorry just fixes it. Yeah. But sorry is...
Sorry needs intent behind it.
Yeah, sorry should be the moment of opening one's heart again. But then it should be your or anyone's game plan is to then slowly get to go back and say, wow, like whatever I did 2 years ago, it has no significance, because look at the character that was built from that moment. And I think that's what we forget. We forget that to give each other time, to give yourself time. Like you can say sorry, but then go to yourself, well, I'm going to have to really dance now. I'm really going to have to work this out and learn how to do it. That's what I think anyway. Let's move on from romance and thinking that we fucking know everything, which we don't. You were baseball and rugby league at one stage. So you were almost, baseball, American baseball we're talking about?
Yeah.
And then you played rugby league for Tigers, is that right?
Well, tried to, yeah.
Go ahead, tell us that story.
I guess start with baseball. So I played soccer my whole life, and that's all I was kind of used to. Played a bit of cricket and primary sport, athletics, etc. I got into baseball. Luckily for me, everything I did, I was quite good at.
Yeah, yeah.
From an
Seems like
athletic perspective. And I was starting to play baseball, and I started to get one-on-one coaching. So, because every time I threw the ball, like I said, I was a bit bigger than the other kids as well and had a powerful throw. And I was looking to go down that path of career because I was good at it. And the first coaching session that I had, I went home. I stepped on a milk crate and snapped both my bones in my arm. So
you fell over to brace yourself.
Fell over and my pitching arm was caught. It could have been the catching arm, but anyway. And it snapped both bones probably when I was like 12 years old. And when it all healed, you can still kind of see the calcium through there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And unfortunately, when I went to go back to start pitching again, in 10 balls in, my arm would be dead through here. And I had no idea why. No one said anything. And I think it came down to nerve damage. That's not confirmed. But why else would your arm go dead?
Yeah, yeah.
So that wiped that one out.
Wow. Oh, God.
Rugby league. So I was playing soccer the whole time. I went to, this is how I got into it. I went to Holy Cross College in Ryde.
Yeah.
So they were always a big rugby league school at the time. And it's more, I was still a soccer boy, and the boys convinced me to come over and play football because I was still, again, quite tall. I was fast.
Yep.
I could run the 100 meters. I think at that point, I ran that under 12 seconds, which was pretty fast at 16. And I was a goal kicker, which I could convert from anywhere in the field.
Yeah.
I used to take the piss out and not use a tee, and then in front of teams, put it on the side and just kick it through the post without a tee.
Wow.
And
that's
I had the power through that, and I was playing. I was doing off season with Balmain Tigers. We were probably 15 years old. That's where I first started doing weights. That's where I got introduced to doing weights for the first ever time. And I think I loved it from then. I just at that age, you're trying to lift something stupidly heavy, and you don't even realize what you're doing.
Yeah.
We used to do 3-hour training sessions, 3 hours a week, which I think is way too much now because their old school mentality is thrash.
Yeah.
I then was in the off season. I decided I was going for rep soccer and rep football, and the coach was like, "If you give up the soccer, we will pick you regardless into the team." That wasn't to be the case because I then got my first girlfriend, had my first kiss, and got glandular fever.
Ah. Bloody hell.
So if you don't know what glandular fever is, it's your glands through here that become that swollen that you can't swallow, you can't eat. So I lost probably 8 kilos. I was in the 70s then, so I went from 71 to 78, 79 when I was that age, from obviously starting weight training. It was at the point it hits your immune system. You're not meant to really do any physical activity, but for the first week, I couldn't eat because it hurt too much to swallow, and I used to dribble to sleep because it just hurt to swallow your own saliva.
Wow.
Funny story, my mum used to take me to this Italian doctor, and they just used to have fucking chats in there with all the other patients, all the old Italians lining up. I sat there for 2.5 hours with glandular fever, and he's like, "Shit, I should have saw you earlier."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, fucking maybe." And I didn't know kind of what that was or how it affected me. So all I could eat was basically ice blocks. So I lost all that weight, and didn't get chosen for the team either.
Oh.
So that was a bit of a gut wrenching moment from when I was a child. But hey, you got to look at the positive side of it. I started training under the house 1 week. I thought when the swelling went down, I was okay, but apparently you're not meant to do anything for a month or two. So I was training under the house and saw the doctor, and he's like, "I'm like, you're meant to be sweating," and he's like, "No, you shouldn't be doing anything." He's like, "Oh."
But why would I guess why wouldn't they wait or have patience, the rugby league side? Why wouldn't they just wait till you got better and if they saw the potential in you?
Yeah, I think they just, maybe because it was getting close towards the end of the off season, they wanted a team now, and I guess it didn't really I guess matter to them, or they're like I'm saying, they probably chose that team at the point, and if you weren't a part of it, it's fucking too bad, because I was one of the fittest, strongest in the team. But
could you not come back and do it again?
I tried when I was 17 for SG ball. That didn't work out.
Why?
I think I was either I can't remember why it didn't work out. I don't know if I was not as good, or it might have been, I'm not going to say I was political, but maybe I changed since then. Because I was 15 back then, your sporting starts to change a little bit. And maybe I wasn't as good as I was back then, because I remember I mentioned to you I developed an eye condition, which impacted my focus.
Yeah.
It
Was with chickenpox, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was derived from chickenpox.
Yeah, 14 years old. What happened? Tell us that story.
I was 14 years old, had chickenpox. Remember it so clear as day. I was in the house for a week, and all of a sudden I, for example, looked at the wall and my vision was different, and I had no idea what that was. And it wasn't until I was probably 19 that I actually found out what it was. So it's a condition called visual snow, which is basically if you lose reception in your TV, you see all that pixelation. I permanently got that in my vision, but transparent, so it's a clear version of it. So it's slightly on you, but it's more on the back of the dense wall.
Right.
So that impacts, I guess, it impacted a lot more things than I thought it would do.
Yeah.
Besides like your vision, it can impact your mental health. It can impact like your focus on things. And I've understood over 20 years what now triggers it and what brings on the full brunt of it.
Yeah.
So if you take anything that slows your mind down, it increases, like say if you take a Panadol, for example, if you smoke weed, it will increase that pixelation.
Oh, wow.
And it puts you into a focus where it's like, you can explain it like a horse has blinkers on. It puts your eyes into that stare where you have limited peripheral vision, so you have to turn your head. Very fucking hard to explain. And that as a 15-year-old or 14-year-old trying to explain it to someone is very difficult. So it's like when I was playing football, if you were to kind of pass it to me, my peripheral vision wasn't as good if it was in full flight of what it was doing. So I wasn't confident in where the person was next to me, etc. So, and I've been using eye drops for like 20 something years now. So, so that developed, and I wasn't until I was 19, I kind of found out what it was. Like, I haven't really told a lot of people this, only till recent, that throughout my whole school, I thought I was going to go blind. I'd always envisioned myself for some reason on a deck chair, blind when I was older, because I didn't know what this was, and you couldn't open up to anyone because you didn't think anyone will understand what it was, and especially being a teenager, because it's rare. It's like a rare condition that they don't have any. It comes from the back of the brain, but they don't have any research into it because it's not big enough to be brought to surface. So I just learned to deal with it over the times, like, because you can read on pages, people start getting upset, people start getting depressed, it affects my life. Of course, I'll take you through a couple of kind of the symptoms. If I stare at your screen long enough, it's bright enough, and I look over onto your wall, it'll burn the image onto the wall. It's called aft imaging. It'll burn it on red. And then if I put my hand like that, I'll see my hand trail from here to here.
Really?
Like a fast car goes past. So it's all part of what it is. So it can get to you if you let it get to you, but you need to, I've managed to deal with it, and I guess be grateful that I still can see. It wasn't until I went to an eye doctor where all the eye tests came up perfectly, and he showed me a YouTube clip saying, "Is this what you see?" I was like, "Yep." I wasn't even through a test. Went through a neurologist to check through an MRI. If there's anything wrong, there's nothing wrong. So it's something that they don't know how to turn off or fix. It's
still there now?
There's no fucking answer,
Yeah, really? Okay. But
I just know what influences it, impacts it, and how to deal with it a lot better.
But I suppose the reassurance as well is that for some reason everything seems okay in the back office. So it takes away the fear of blindness. When
I had an answer to it, that's when I could start.
Yeah, you could
being okay with it.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. All right. Well, that would also affect your rugby league career.
Made it harder. You put a high ball up under the lights, and you're fighting with pixelation and a football in the middle of that.
Yeah. No, I don't know how you did it. I just want to know: did we end up with a girl?
Did we end up with a girl?
The one with the glandular fever?
No.
Oh, bloody
that was like a 2-month thing. After I got that, I'm like,
Jesus Christ.
We're out. There was a 2-year gap after that, I think.
No. That's not good. So once you joined the gym, that's when you're addicted to it, huh? That's like you just, I'm just reading here. you started training, I think it was around the age of 16. That's when you used to catch the bus to the gym. You couldn't wait to get there.
School bus.
Yeah.
It was so I started after glandular fever. I was training under the house and with Dad's old York stuff. I'm pretty sure I got stuck under the bench press like 5 times when I was in the zone. That hasn't happened since. And my brother comes in, he had joined Fitness First, and he's like, do you want to come to the gym with me? And I was like, yeah, fucking signed up, and never looked back from there. And used to be in school uniform, and the bus so my mum, it was at North RSL, and Fitness First was linked to it. The bus is on, it's near Epping Road off Pittwater Road.
Wow. I know the gym. You know what's funny? God's sake. I think I was probably...
2005 I would have been joined there.
So what is it now? 2000. Yeah. I went there. I trained at that gym, that Fitness First. Is it still there?
It's any time now. It was actually a good gym when
it
they
was
first
a good gym.
opened it. So
I know.
my mum worked in the RSL for 30
because I had to pass to all Fitness Firsts, and because I was in sales and driving, I would go up and train anywhere. Yeah, so I remember that gym well. Yeah, go on.
So my mum worked at that RSL up until recently. So I used to catch the bus there in the afternoon, do my session. Used to drive me home until I could drive myself, and then I used to get up there before school. And another thing that I realised with my soccer, I started to get big and I couldn't go as fast and I couldn't turn as quick.
Oh yeah. No, it does affect you. But then at 18, your final year at school, unfortunately your dad got really sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a brain tumor in his 50s, far out. So sad, man. I meant around my age.
Yeah.
And a few years had passed and everything seemed to be all right after the operation. Is that right?
Yep. Everything seemed like fine. And again, at that time, he was a lawnmower himself. He was running his own business.
Oh, yeah.
And he used to come back he would fall over randomly. So loss of balance.
Yeah.
And his vision would start to go, and it was like, Mum's like, something's going on here. And eventually they went to, I think it was Randwick Hospital, and they were able to point out that it was brain stem cell injury, which was not part of the tumour. The tumour had been cleared, but something had affected him. And my mum's personal opinion, not a professional opinion, she believes because it was a rare tumour in an adult, not at a young adolescent, they didn't know how much radiation to give him, so they believe that damaged the stem cell. That's her opinion, not professional once again.
Yeah, of course.
So basically how that works is, if you know what motor neuron is, it works similar to that. So you're all up there in the brain, but your body shuts down until it shuts down completely. So it's a journey over 6-8 months, however long, when you start to stop eating. So
yeah, sorry, I'm just reading it now because I read it last night. So it wasn't motor neuron disease?
No, it was a damaged brain stem cell, but it acted the same way motor neuron would.
Because my mum had motor neuron disease, and it was, I was going through a shit time. I was just divorced. I mean, maybe people have heard about me getting divorced, but it's not their problem anymore, guys. Just letting you know, everybody. Now that I've met Chris, everything's all right.
Saviour.
Yeah, I just talk to Chris. He gives me no fucking answer.
And just listens.
And that's life. Life doesn't. You got no answer. There's no answer to anything. But when I found out my mum had motor neuron disease, I was in hell at the time. And yeah, they gave her 12 months, and it was practically that. And yeah, watching the whole shutdown, even to the point where you don't even think it's shutting down. She couldn't walk anymore. She couldn't walk. And then slowly it just suddenly went to her arms, to the point she was still talking to me, telling me, worrying about my problems.
They still do.
Yeah, they worry about my problems. I don't know fucking how she did it.
It's hard to kind of reflect on, because it's always been kind of like a pain point for me, which I'm now starting to work through, because I know serves me no purpose to, like, you want to speak about that person.
Yeah, speak about it.
Because they've been part of, like, your life, but, like, the pain you hold on to is too much to be able to speak about someone because he was such a good person.
Mate, he died at 56, mate. I'm 56. We're not meant to laugh here. I'm just saying. No, you could talk about it, man. But like I said, that would have been a challenging time for you.
Like you said, your mum would ask about you. It's like you could see in his eyes that he knew what was happening, but he's still giving himself to everyone else. Even
How the fuck did they do that?
But he lost speech, so we had to communicate through, like, we had an ABC board where we would point to it, and then you kind of watch them. Like, I was 18, so I was going through HSC at the time. And I must have kind of half blocked it out. I started going out. I started partying a little bit. And I remember my sister came in the room one day and she's like crying. She's like, Dad's fucking declined. I was like, what? Because I'd go visit him every, like, Sunday. I'd give hats off to my mum being, like, a life partner. She didn't choose for him to go, but she would go to work every day and visit him every single day without fail until the end. And that's what you want out of a partner, right? So,
well, we're just not built that way. That's the thing, man. I mean, that's the thing. What happens when I don't know. I mean, when I say they're built differently, I think life was a bit simpler, but I don't know, man. I don't know how they did it. But yeah, like I said, and I understand when you say, like, trying to deal with it, and it's hard to deal with, and still maybe today. I think, again, what do I know, but I tell you, I'll be honest with you. Seeing a psychologist, especially if you get the right one,
yeah,
right? It's like everything, right? But if seeing a psychologist, have you ever seen a psychologist?
No, this is the first time I've now booked in to do a breathwork session to actually start addressing a lot of these things that have come up, and then I'll probably be the next step.
Who's the breath work with?
Beneath the surface.
Yeah. Look, I don't know about that stuff. I'm not. Trust me, it all works.
I'm open to
it all works. I've been to everything. Not me. Oh my God! If I tell you where I've been, mate, I've done colonics. So when you've been everywhere, I've done colonics.
I guess coming out of, like, that, obviously Dad being sick and, like,
but
for me,
but it did get me. I did start going in, like I said to you, my 40s to 50s. So you're at the age.
Yeah.
I do recommend.
I wasn't ready before now.
Yeah. I do recommend it, man. If you, like I said, part of the podcast.
For sure.
I do recommend it. When I saw a psychologist, I was fucking super fit, ripped. And I didn't go to the psychologist because I was having problems with my marriage. I didn't have any problems. I was just angry all the time. I just realized I'm not really happy. Like maybe I acted it. I was fit. I ate well. I looked great. Maybe I look like you. But the thing is, so I remember going and seeing her, and in all seriousness, I felt defeated. I felt like, no, the fucking guy goes. And this was, honestly, no one was going. It was very taboo. No one, I didn't even tell my parents. I didn't tell anyone. My wife at the time probably knew, obviously. And my kids were young. They were like 5 or whatever. So I went. I remember sitting with, her name was Jenny. I sat with Jenny, and I honestly said to her, I don't think you can help me. I was arrogant. I was like, yeah, all right, whatever. And she'd talk to me, and I'd talk, and I'd talk, and we'd talk. But then I just kept going back. And then one day I said, she's like my personal trainer for my brain. I said, my brain is overweight. My brain is not fit. My brain is obese. It's lazy. So then I started going to her, but I went as well when I went and saw her. I went as a student as well. I wanted to, and we had arguments, but there were times like, trust me, I was like not impressed and rolling my eyes and what the fuck am I doing here? But I persisted to the point where, oh my God, I look at the 10 years and I learned so much. And there was a point that when I said 10 years, I didn't go every year like 5 times. Some years I went twice. Some years I went once. Some years I may have missed. But then I realized I also went and saw her when I was questioning something. So I didn't go when I was in the dumps.
Yeah.
So I'd book in. I say, hey, Jenny, can I see you? And I say to her, I don't know if I'm a good dad. And then we talk about that. I didn't have a problem with it. I just said, I don't know. What's it like to be a good dad? I don't know. Like, we just talked. And she appreciated that. Sometimes we just do 3 sessions and we talk about being a dad. We talk, mate, some of the stuff. Like I said, I found a psychologist. If you find a good one, learned all my lessons. Like, I think I can be a psychologist now. Just continually going through the shit with her, going through the okay with her, but also there were times where I just said, look, I think I need to talk to someone. There's no one I can talk to. And I'm probably even at that point now. Jenny's still around, but I actually changed psychologists because I felt like I knew her pattern. It was like, I know my coach now.
Yeah.
We're going to come in. We're going to start with this. We're going to do this. So I needed a new coach. And she was okay with that. She actually said, yeah, I think after a while, she goes, after 8 years, I said, I might go see somebody else. And she said she encouraged that, someone that was a bit closer to home. And I did. And thankfully, she was great too. She was good. Like I said to you, talking to someone non-biased, that's when I realised how come I take that person to look at a house that I'm renovating and I fucked and scared the hell out of them. Like, what? They said to me, what the fuck have you done here? And I went, oh my God, what have I done? So talking to a neutral party, no emotions. They don't know you. Like, and and the other thing is, when I mentioned lying, that's what I learned from the psychologist. I'll give you an example. Let's say I was a recovering drug addict. Yep.
Yeah.
So if I went to alcoholic, I was a recovering alcoholic, and I went to the psychologist and she said to me, when was your last drink? And I said, 3 months ago. She's going to work on me being that I haven't drank for 3 months. But if I drank the week before, but I lied to her, she's still not going to change that. Yeah. She's not going to try to second guess me. And that's when I realized from a psychologist, they only go with what you tell them. Yeah. So I learned in life, you always just go with what someone tells you.
Okay.
So if they're not doing it,
advice.
It was. So psychologists aren't going to sit there and go for the whole hour session. Tell me the truth.
Yeah.
Did you drink last week? Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. Maybe, so she's thinking, 3 months he hasn't drank. I'm going to talk to him about a guy that hasn't drank for 3 months. Obviously, I wasn't an alcoholic. But that's what I realized, that only a psychologist doesn't try to second guess you. That's why some sessions take 6 and some sessions take 1. Because as a personal trainer, if someone said, I want to grow arms, you go, okay. You're going to start teaching them the movement, not the weight.
Yeah, yeah.
But if the person told you, I've trained before, and you go, yeah, when was the last time you trained and how long you been training for? And he goes, I've been training for years and this. And you go, all right, maybe we can get straight into it. So it's always, like I said, so that's what I realized. But yeah, I do recommend a psychologist.
100% down for it because, males a lot tend to try to deal with everything themselves and they bottle it up. I didn't know who to turn to back then. I was so embarrassed. Not embarrassed, but I just didn't know who to turn to at that time. And my way of dealing with it was going out. Now I realize that. I thought I was just having fun, but it was a way of masking it. Yeah. And escaping reality of what actually just had happened because I hadn't dealt with it.
Yeah. Look, I'm a guy, but we're not built to communicate. We're just not. Even though we're doing it here on this podcast, we're not built. And this is a sad one, but it's real. But we need them. We can't communicate with women. I know that anyone's going to hear this. We can't, and I'll tell you why. We're built differently, and also once we lay out our heaviness, A guy's heaviness is big.
Yeah.
And when you watch a girl, when you're explaining your vulnerability, their eyes go like it's a wombat on a highway with a truck coming at it, because they think we're all strong, and we are. But when they push us to be vulnerable, trust me, no woman can handle a vulnerable guy. They can't. They want to believe it. So best, because we do keep to ourselves, that's why we can't communicate. We do want to share with someone, but that's why with a mate you can do it. And if it's a good mate, he's the one that doesn't make you do stupid things. He's the one that lets you talk it out. But like I said, once you see a psychologist, male or female psychologist, mine was a female, she was unreal. Like, mate, I haven't brought up in my conversation I wanted to have an affair. She didn't buckle. She goes, oh my God. She didn't do that. She goes, why? I said, I don't know. She goes, but I feel guilty. She goes, have you done it? I said, no. She goes, how about you don't do it? And how about we just talk about it? And I went, okay. And we did. I never did it. She didn't go, oh my God, your marriage is over. And oh my God, if she finds out. I just said, I feel like one. I didn't say I wanted to do it.
I guess that's when you start talking to the wrong people. You
Yeah.
yourselves down the wrong path.
Yeah, but if someone said to me, if Chris said to me, I feel like he doesn't have a girlfriend, he wants to have an affair or do something, I wouldn't. I'd just say, man, what's wrong? What's happening? I'd want to talk about it with him. I'd hate him to do it.
Yeah.
Because you've got to be there to understand it. That's what I'm saying is the thought isn't the action. That's what Jenny taught me. She said, just because you're thinking about it, you didn't go have an affair. So why are you feeling guilty? I said, because I think about it. She goes, no, let's process that. Don't act on it, but you haven't acted on it. And that's what I found in the end. Like I said, we think a lot of shit. Doesn't mean we're doing it. But like I said, we can't share it easily. It's not. Mate, trust me, I've opened up and I look at him and I go, oh my God, her eyes have gone like this. She's going like, oh my God, this guy's fucking very weak.
I've started to try to become more in tune with my emotions because it serves me no purpose to suppress that anymore. And that's all I've done the whole time. So,
but you got to find the right people.
100%.
And what I'm saying is it's not, hear me out, it's not your partner's fault. It's not. But you, as guys, we have to express, but not everything to every single person and to the right people. Yeah. And when you find the right person, so I'm letting you know, you can come and talk to me anytime.
Love you for that.
All right, I'm telling you. No, you can call me and go, hey, Steve, you want to go for a coffee? Because I'm telling you, your thoughts are thoughts. They're not actions. Your action, they'll be more concerning. But, mate, even if someone said to me, I feel like leaving my partner, I don't look at it like, I just think you're thinking about it. We'll talk about it. Because I learned that from Jenny. Mate, she never budged. I'd said some big shit, man. And she'd go like this. Okay. I went, how come she's not shocked? You know what I mean? And then I really relished in it. Every time before I said something, I said, I'm really sorry you're a female. I'm going to have to say this to you. She goes, yeah, go for it. We talked about everything. There was nothing that I didn't say. But she also didn't blame me for things. That's why I said when she goes, oh, you have every right to be angry. I went, do I? She goes, yeah. So, yeah, like I said, I think that's what I've learned when it comes to talking to people, talking to the right people. But like I said, I'm really sorry to hear that, that happened with your dad and something you need to process. And I do know it takes time, but I think that.
But if we look at a positive note, it has been a huge drive for my training intensity, which has been linked back to, and that's, I guess for me, when I train, I use him as a positive way because you've seen someone suffer, and this is why I put so much effort into my training and when I prep. And back to when you asked me, when the going gets tough, when you're down at that low body fat percentage and you don't have much left to give, it's like, I see training as... Yeah, go on. Listening.
I don't know. Must have picked up Wi-Fi. The damn thing's got the Wi-Fi in here. Yeah, go on.
I see training to me to push that intensity, to me to push my mindset to the next level, which is hard for a lot of people. Yeah. I use what happened to my father as a driving force because I'm I saw what he went through and it wasn't by choice. I'm choosing to lift weights. I'm choosing to compete. So why the fuck are you complaining? Why are you complaining? The people out there would love to be in your position that unfortunately are not in your position, who cannot basically step foot on this earth. And that's where I go when I train, to push me past the weights that either it's a stupid heavy weight or push me when I'm struggling for energy, is that you've been given the opportunity, you're healthy, shut up and do it.
You know what? I read this. I got this from my girlfriend yesterday, and you know, like I said, she worries about a lot of things, but she sent me this, and I appreciated what she said because it helped too. I thought I couldn't read it, but Pooh Bear, Pooh Bear,
Yeah.
Pooh Bear, he seems to have always these good things. But sometimes she says, so Pooh Bear says, sometimes, said Pooh quietly, we spend so much time thinking about what went wrong that we forget to see all the things that went right. The sun still rises. The tea is still warm. A friend still sits beside you. And that's enough, really. Life isn't meant to be perfect. It's meant to be lived. So forgive quickly, hold on gently, love deeply, and keep walking forward with a thankful heart. The world feels kinder when you choose peace over pride and smiles over arguments. And to be honest, she's not good at that. But that was great that she sent it to me, because sometimes we think the world's, like you said, we can feel like the world's coming to an end, but we can find perspective. So even knowing through difficult times there is the partner or a friend or somebody there, or the fact that you have all the ability to do and try to be your best. You can go to the gym, you can go train, or you can just do things that unfortunately some people today can't or don't have.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just, like I said, when I read that, when I thought of that, the sun still came up.
It's actually quite beautiful and correct.
Yeah, it is beautifully correct. Those Pooh things are pretty good. That bear. You know what? I think maybe a lot of people would like to know. I'd like to know. I mean, firstly, you, at 24, you went and lived overseas by yourself?
Yes. I was traveling with a mate for when I was 24. So 2013, I started traveling, packed my bag, quit my job, did a plumbing. I was a plumber.
Yeah.
Did a plumbing apprenticeship.
Yeah.
Traveled one way, 2 months in America, 4 months in Europe.
Yeah.
Came back, got a casual job, went to Greece for meant to be 3 weeks with mum, and then I was like, you know what, fuck it, I don't have to go back home. So I lived on a party island for 2.5 months called Eos.
Oh, Eos. That is a bad party island, man. Chris, that island, Eos, you smell the alcohol while the boat's parking in.
Oh, yeah?
Mate, I think at that island, there's like, they go nuts there. I had to get the fuck out of
They call
there.
it Netherland because there's no rules.
It's bad. It's bad.
The biggest love-hate relationship I ever went through.
Yeah, that one is a bad island. That's party island on steroids.
So after that, came home, got another job. My cousin's like, oh, I want to go overseas. Like, yes, sweet. Went one way again. And this time we went like back to Eels quickly. You had to show him the ropes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
We linked with a company, Top Deck Tours, as volunteers. So we were around doing running with the bulls, which is fucking scary, but most adrenaline I've been through.
Wow, you did running with the bulls,
Yeah.
huh? Is that scary?
Oh, fucking hell. You're waiting there. It's like a 400-meter track. We started like 200 meters up, and then you hear a cannon. That means 8 bulls over 500 kilos are coming your way with a street a little bit bigger than the room, packed full of people.
Oh, my God.
And then you just hear a bell, and that's the bulls right there, and like people are tripping over, you're stepping on them to get over them and stuff like that.
Wow.
People are pushing each other against a wall, and I was like, fucking hell. I nearly vomited in the stadium from the adrenaline.
Wow.
So that was a pretty crazy experience.
Yeah.
So we went around Spain, into Morocco, went into Spain, Portugal, Morocco, flew out into Hungary for a couple of weeks. We volunteered at Oktoberfest. We lived in a tent for 4 weeks.
Oh, you've done a great life so far.
Yeah, feeding like the people that were part of Top Deck and stuff like that, going in and out of Oktoberfest. And then we started heading north through like Poland, where we go Czech Republic, Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, and then I was in Estonia, and I met an Aussie guy that I met from EOS, and my cousin's like, I want to go to Finland and Sweden. I can't afford that, bro. I got like 10 grand less in my account. I got a mortgage back home. It's going to rip me in half. So he went, and I got a job at a hostel illegally, working night shift. And then I ended up meeting a girl there, and I ended up staying there. I flew back after like a year, and because I'm an Italian background, I got my Italian passport and came back and lived there. And that's when I moved into sales, selling cruises to the UK market from there. So that's so yeah, 2 years there, and that's
And you competed there.
yeah. I competed there, and like I was telling you, because back before I left, I was in well, the mates I was around were always going to festivals. So my training purpose before, like say 2017, 18, was to train to look good, look the best at the festival, or look lean, like just for social. That was a sole purpose. Didn't train legs much.
Most of it was if you didn't go on stage.
100%. Did some stupid shit by dehydrating myself before I went out and took fucking something. So it's like,
oh yeah, don't worry, yeah.
all that. So I was training for that. So once I got away from that environment, I was like, okay, this girl is not accessible here, and this girl doesn't do any of that. And that's when I was like, I've always been training at the gym, no matter when I traveled. Maybe the biggest gap was like 3 months. So I started training at a gym there, and I think one of the PTs, or I said I might want to compete. So I went into a local comp in Estonia for beginners, prepped myself, and I came second in that comp. I reckon it was political because I was Australian and the Estonian won.
Yeah.
Didn't really know what I was doing. I knew how to drop weight, but probably not a smart way
I
or a
can
very
imagine.
slow way.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I looked lean as fuck, but I was like under 80 kilos.
Yeah.
And then I went down the week after and did a comp in Latvia. I still got photos from that first comp.
Oh.
And then that was at the start of the year. And then my friend put me onto a coach where I then prepped for an Arnold Classic in Europe just because I wanted to, for some reason, do it.
Wow, yeah.
And that was over in Barcelona. And usually you have to qualify, but I'm like, I'll pay my way. So I represented Estonia and went and competed in an Arnold Classic in Barcelona.
Wow.
I had no idea what the fuck I was getting into. It was this massive event. And I was like, got onto the stage of like, it cost you a shitload of money too from like there. And I got onto the stage for 10 minutes. I'm like, didn't get top 10 or anything. I was like, was that it?
Wow.
Fucking all that money and time for that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, while I'm here, I didn't actually plan everything out. And I was at Ben Weeder Classic in Finland. And I went up. That was like a 2-hour ferry from where I was living, and ended up placing 5th. My body changed a bit more.
Yeah.
The coach made me look a lot better than I made myself, obviously.
Yeah.
And I was always super conditioned, and I got 5th in there, which gave me like, oh, I was actually all right. And then I did one more. I did a Diamond Cup in Milan. So they're like some of the biggest competitions in Europe, which I just threw myself into not knowing what to expect or what actual bodybuilders look like.
Yeah, I don't know if you really knew the whole process.
Nah, not at all. And I still remember the guy that won the Arnold Classic. He's a guy called Vinnie Crane, who's out of Ireland, and it looks like he's about to compete again. And I was always like training in the gym, be like, okay, I need to beat this guy. Like when I was like, you look up to someone, right? You got competition. If you don't have someone to aim for, then what drive do you have, right? So you can compare yourself. So that was actually my entry into bodybuilding. It's kind of just wing it and go, fuck it, let's do it.
And you were natural.
Yeah, that was natural.
Natural, and also, but some of the people you were competing against were on the gear, possibly.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, wow. That's what I'm saying is
I didn't think anything of it.
Completely naive, yeah. That's what I'm saying is you just went along with it. It's a shame when we start knowing too much. We start working it all out.
It's like, how these guys, like, because I think if I reflect back to a memory, I would have been probably 88 and it came down to 80, 79, 80 stage weight. And it was classic. So for some reason, I had to be under 84 by memory. And I was like, why does this guy look 100 but he's 84? I had no fucking idea what those things, like what the anabolics did and how they can retain so much muscle by making you like you're the same weight.
Yeah.
I was like, eye-opening.
It is eye-opening. And so then you came back to Australia and then you did a few local comps, didn't you? You did A and B and a few
There was a big gap though. I didn't start doing that till 2023.
Yeah, well, there you go. So that was 10 years, nearly that. 9 years, 8 years, yeah.
I got back and I was like, I had stopped and I realised that I was good at lifting heavy weights.
Oh, yes.
So I was going down that journey. I didn't even know what I was training for at that point.
Yep.
But I realised that like I was really super good at lifting heavy weights. I started squatting super heavy, which also, I think that's why my legs are so dense.
Yeah.
Because I PB'd a 300 squat at one point.
Yeah.
And again, that all helps develop a mindset because I always believe if you walk under a bar, believing you're going to fail, then you will fail. But if you walk under and you're going to back yourself, then you've got every opportunity to lift that weight. If you fear what you're going to lift, then you're already putting your central nervous system into a state of shock, and you're going to freak out when you lift it. And I always believe it's not always the correct way, but it's like, if you don't try, how are you going to find out if you can lift it or not? And if you can't lift it, continue to lift it until you fucking get there.
Yeah. Good mindset.
I did the same thing with my bench press when I failed 200 about 10 times, I reckon. I was like, I'm going to get over it. I'll move on.
Oh, wow.
So I went through that stage of, like, I guess a power building stage. And again, I deadlifted a 300 deadlift and tore my bicep straight off the bone. And I locked out and my bicep just completely ruptured off my arm.
Oh.
Down the bottom, still got the beautiful scarring where they operated on.
Oh, yeah.
To bring it back. And I was like, when bodybuilding came back up in the thing, and I was like, am I going to be able to bodybuild? Is it going to look misshaped? Or is it aesthetically going to look different?
Yeah.
Which it hasn't. But what that injury then taught me, again, adding to the mindset from everything, is that I tore that arm. I rehabbed it. I ended up training my legs 5 days a week, just because of, like, if I don't train, I'm going to go nuts. I can't just go to work. I can't go to work without training. That's always been. It starts your day off, and then train my legs 5 days a week. Same exercises, same rep range until I could put my arm back on a bar. And then when I could do that, I lifted my first weight in my hand, because when you tear your bicep, you're stuck like this.
Yeah.
You have to stretch your tendon out by yourself. It's the weirdest feeling, and you need to rotate it that way.
Wow.
And it took me 2.5 months to get to that point.
Yep.
And then I could put a weight on it. And I was like, you either face this deadlift again or you'll never do it again. So 7 months later, I deadlifted the same 300 kilos with straps.
Ah.
So I was like, I had to face what damaged me.
To get past it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that moment was, I guess, pretty emotional because of what had happened. But it developed again. It was another step towards building that mindset. And then I always trained at Fitness First until probably like maybe, those were really the only ones that were around that were good. I was at Bond Street Fitness First.
I know Bond Street. I was a member there.
Yeah, I used to pump. And they had such a good lifting platforms all the way down the bottom.
Yeah.
And I used to chase these guys, again, probably on the gear. Like, I was like, how are these guys squatting 260? I want to do that. So that was my inspiration and goal, was to chase these guys. How do they bench so much? How do they deadlift? And I was like, I can do it. I'm going to fucking chase these guys. And that's what drove me to lift heavy weights, and I was still natural.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck it, I can do it. And that's where I started lifting heavy. And then I moved to World Gym, Chalora, because I had enough of Fitness First at top right, because I just didn't maintain it.
Yep.
And had the passport one. So when I worked in the city, went to Castle Ray Street World Gym, and that's when I met Jen Nora from A&B.
Yep. And
that's where the last 3 years stemmed from, of going back into bodybuilding after that gap, because she's like, have you thought about bodybuilding? And I was like, I did it back in 2018, 17, whatever. And she's like, your physique is not like, it's different to everyone else's. Like the way you look, she goes, you'd be really good at it. And I was like, you reckon? She's like, yeah. She goes, how about you? She still runs A&B. She's like, how about you prep for this comp? And I was like, reached out to the coach that I had like 7 years ago. And I was like, I'm going to prep for this. Do you want to coach me? He's like, yeah, okay. So that's where the journey started. And my partner at the time, who I was dating, T, she's like, you can do it. Like you have the genetics, you have the aesthetics to do it.
You do.
You have the drive to do it. And that's where that started, and that's where we are now.
So you did that. You did DFAC, because was the DFAC Worlds? Was that in Australia?
Yeah, so the first time they ever had it in Australia.
We were there.
Were you?
Me and Chris were there. Because we saw, what was the name again? Kati.
Yeah.
Kati was a girl from Austria.
Yeah.
From Austria.
Yeah, right.
She was.
It was in, I can't remember, it was Helston Park, maybe?
Yeah, it was at Helston Park.
Yeah.
We had Tim Tams outside with her. And a few people were there.
Interesting.
You were there. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Then I saw you.
So I did the state. So it was only meant to be those two. And then...
how'd you go?
So I won the state, and then I came second to this guy from Cayman Islands, which I still speak to every now and then, who looked great.
Yeah.
So I came second in the DFAC Worlds for kind of my first time.
Wow. I remember that, man.
They're still kind of like I still keep his name's Robert, and he's like he looked amazing. But I was like, I just came out of, like I told you, when I saw Charlie Duca for posing, and my coach is Rawdon Dubois from City Gym, and Charlie's like, he goes, you fucking look amazing. Like, why are you just doing that comp? And I was like, what do you fucking mean? And he's like, NABA is this Saturday. This was a Tuesday.
Yes.
He goes, enter it, you'll win. I was like, what do you mean I'll win? He's like, I'll build the routine for you. Mm-hmm. You enter it. Wow. I was like, this is on the week, and I was like, okay. So I went in and won my category in NABA, my first basically proper Australian bodybuilding show, and came second in overall for the whole show. And then that went through, so I was like on a high from that. I was like, what the fuck? I just entered that. I was still meant to be 3 weeks away from my actual show. And then again, when I saw him for more posing, he was like, IFBB Elites this weekend, enter it. And I was like, sure. He's like, yep. So I went in, won my category again for IFBB Elite for the categories that I went in. I'm pretty sure it was, I think, still kind of like, it was a high category.
Wow.
I think NABA was a high category, not a weight category. So you could be a height by a certain weight. But I think I came in those shows at like 87 kilos by the time I dried out. So I did that, and then the weekend after was A&B, which I was doing. So went into A&B, won that, and then I had a break, and then I did DFAC the weekend after. It was this was all natural.
Yeah, of course.
So I was up against the guys in NABA that were obviously, some, not all of them, probably taking stuff, and IFBB Elite. So
predominantly,
to me, it was just like,
I'd be surprised, but I'm also not surprised by who's natural when they tell me. Sometimes I used to think everyone's on the gear, but I was surprised. So tell me, then you know, everyone, like I said, they'll be listening now and thinking, oh my God. So obviously you're not Natty. So I want to know, firstly, how was it when you knew you were going to make the shift? And how was it when did you do it orally? Did you say?
Only orally.
You only did orally. So how was it when you went, put in your mouth, swallowed? How was that experience?
So a bit of perspective, like I guess a year after I did all the shows naturally, and what led to this point was I came second in Pro Leagues for Classic, still being natural. And
I remember that.
Second in Nationals.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've always been an advocate for like, I'll try something once. I'm like, my body looks great. People were like, don't touch it. It looks fucking great. I'm like, but I remember back when I first did the bodybuilding stone, I'm like, if I'm going to ever touch something, it's going to have to be with a purpose, and it has to go like all the way.
Yeah.
Like you have to take it to base, not the extreme, but it has to be done with purpose.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? Why I decided to, because when I came second, I lost upper body size. You lean down a certain weight, and as a natty, you lose all the upper body. Like you lose the density through it that you don't have. You're super fucking lean.
Yeah.
But you look like a skinny something to an extent.
Yeah.
And so I spoke to my coach about it, and I was like, look, I'm thinking about it. I go, I'm too scared to do the injection side of it. I'm freaking out by a needle, and I don't know if I could do that to myself. I was like, what's the other option?
Yeah.
And he went down that track. He told me the risks of it, like liver, kidney, etc., like that. But I was like, well, fuck it. Like 10 years ago, you were partying. What was the difference?
Yeah, of course.
Like,
yeah.
And I think I was scared because I was like, fuck, is this what I want to do? What's going to happen when I do it? And it's like, you kind of start to freak out because you're like, you think everything's going to change. And like because my main thing in the back of my head was stopping me is like, you've trained for 20 years, you haven't needed anything. You've always used your genetics. You've always used everything to get where you needed to. But at that point, I think my testosterone was starting to lower. Yeah. And I got a blood test, and I went to a compound pharmacist to try naturally bring stuff up. And I got a blood test a couple of weeks before the comp, and my testosterone looked like it just came off a cycle because I was at 6.5 test and 185 free range.
Yep.
And I was like, wonder fucking I feel shit, like no energy. And I think alongside the way I kind of felt, that was like, all right, like you can, like the decision to make this is like, you said that you'll try something once and you've got a great physique. how much fucking better can you make it? So fuck it, let's give it a go. And taking that first one, it was like it was Anavar. I was like nervous, and I was like, fuck, what do I do? How's this going to affect me? What's it going to do? And it wasn't as bad after you initially have done it.
Yeah, of course. What did you notice significant changes? What were the significance?
So for people to get an understanding, which I'll still learning about, so there was Anavar, which keeps you kind of lean. There's Anadrol, which is for anemic people, which keeps the size onto you. And Clen for the fat loss. Like I could lose fat anyway, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'll listen to the person kind of guiding me. And then towards the end, there was like Hello Test, which apparently is equivalent to a fucking oral trend. So, the biggest difference for me was holding the volume of my upper body. So my legs, lucky enough, have density in them that they didn't really vanish when I was natural.
Yeah.
But my upper body would. So I felt that it held the volume across my upper body. It allowed, I always had good training intensity, but it allowed you, when you're getting leaner, to keep pushing, keep pushing.
Gives you an element of strength, doesn't it?
Yeah. So
did you notice that your final sets were your warm-up sets now?
Yeah.
In strength, you know what I mean? You went up and you just were surprised the dumbbells you were grabbing, the weights you were putting on.
Because even how like kind of light you're getting, you're still moving the weights up.
Fuck yeah, I know.
That's obviously progressive overload, and that's what needs to be done, and it's a mindset as long as like your body, but it just gave you that extra little push, because my coach was like, you're going to get strong. And I'm like, I'm already fucking strong. What do you mean I'm going to get strong?
I know. It does that. I know.
So that was done over 12 weeks only in the prep. Nothing before. There's nothing after.
So you're clean now at the moment?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you miss it?
No.
It's funny. I when I did, like I said, my first cycle at 49, I did 2 in 1 year. So I did when I first went on it, and then I took a break, and then I did a second. I was turning 50. That's why I did it.
Yeah.
And I was thinking of competing. Trust me, I was. But what happened was the second time I did it, might be a good tip for you, is I thought if I put more in, I get more out of it. Less is more. And I imploded. I lost my appetite. I became irritable. I couldn't sleep.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, it was getting a little bit of acne going on. I mean, it was just weird. But when I did it subtle, not too much.
You're okay.
I was pumping it. It was amazing. But what have you learnt from it? Like, have you learnt? I'll tell you what I learnt from it. I learnt that, wow, it still requires training. Wow, it still requires food.
Yeah.
Wow. And was I giving enough? Maybe not. So maybe if I give enough, I don't really need it unless I do exhaust that area again and top it up. Is that what you've kind of noticed?
I think it's a little bit like interesting for me because I only did it in the prep, and compared to the years before, like regardless, I've realized now, regardless if you're taking something, like you still feel like shit because being natural or not natural, because you're putting your body under so much stress that I still had everything the same. I was like tired, fatigued, tired, fatigued, and everything irritable. I was even irritable natural because you're running off fumes. I think from this, it allowed, like, the difference was that you did get a little bit more irritable. You kind of had to watch if anyone provoked you to level your, like, stay in a calm state, because I realized, like, if you're not calm and you're potentially getting provoked, then it can escalate a lot quicker than when you were, because you got
100%. You're angry.
So it was just, and I think I still had, there's like that little bit of fear, you're like, shit, you're doing this, and like, can it affect your health? You had nothing wrong with your health. Would this do that? And I think the learning from it, because obviously as you got closer, the dosages went up.
Yeah, of course.
And I was getting to a point where I was that lean, like if I was standing in the shower, my bones on the ground, on my heel.
Wow.
And when I picked the weights up, my hands through here, the bones could feel the weights, and I could just feel how lean I was through here. Because it's like every kind of bit of fat had gone away from me.
Was that the Glendura?
I think it might have been.
Yeah. Do you did you were you shocked by the improvements?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
Did it increase your ego?
I didn't have the energy to have any more
Oh,
ego.
there you go.
I'd look
There
at
you go.
myself all the time in the mirror, but you get to a point where you're like, you fuck can't even be bothered doing that.
Yeah,
Like you look
yeah.
so great. In terms of ego, I try to stay kind of humble all the time. But when you're like in a condition like that, you're always fucking looking in the mirror. You're always taking photos. Like you ask anyone if they say no, they're in denial because you're starting to look great and you're like, this looks good. You look completely fucking different and you're getting attention.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess the ego comes along with the sport. You have to be somewhat of an ego, but try to stay a little bit humble as you can.
And do you think you'll do it again?
If I do, I've been.
How did you go with the competition, by the way? Did it give you what you wanted? Did you improve on what you
I
needed to improve?
improved. So put it this way, I came in. I don't know if this is because I did a proper off season my own and bulked up to 116, but I was 3 kilos heavier than the year before at a lower body fat percentage.
Wow.
So that's when I capped out the classic class. I got told I was the leanest in both New South Wales and state, like how dry through I was.
Yeah.
In terms of doing it again, probably not orals. Orals have served their purpose, and I've understood that like they can be a little bit more dangerous than going down the test way of an injection. I said I will potentially try tests just to see what it does to my body, and I do still want to continue to competing, and I do want to improve, and I do still want to say where my body can go. But then you've got like the factors around it is like, okay, how will it affect you? Too, it's like, I think the self-conscious thing for me is like, do I want to go completely bald? I don't know if I'm ready for that. If it starts to kind of like, affect you around that, but
Well, very, very good question.
And why
I think. What do I know? But I did injectables. I did oral as well. Sometimes you can't have. It's not all injectable, but you get used to it. You learn how to do it.
We have people like at the gym. They're like, "Oh, that doesn't count because it's not injecting." That's when you really go on to the other side.
But maybe so. Maybe they're right. But it's the truth. It's the truth. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not a seasoned professional, but when I did it, I did. I went straight injectables. I said to a guy, show me. And then I went home and I said I had to do it. And I learned. Once you learn, you just trust me. When it's time to do it, you get up in the morning. You go, it's day 3. I've got to do it. You just sit there with your vial. You just go, you go in your ass, and it's like
second nature.
It's
like
2 seconds. It's 2 seconds. Then you wipe up the area. You got your little wipes. You roll your little needle up nicely, throw it in your bin. So now, just try to be protective of things. But I like I said, I don't know. But I'll say this to you: not that would I do a cycle again? Yeah, I would. But yeah, it's not worth losing your hair over. That's one. I'll just tell you that. But
like
2, no, I'm just telling you it's not. And not that I don't have pattern bowling, but the thing is, I think I do believe, like you got a great physique and it's predominantly from being Natty. I'll announce it here. Most of the best physiques that have been on my podcast are mostly natural. Trust me. And Dorian Yates put it like this, and I do believe what Dorian Yates said, and he nailed it on the head. Whatever you built artificially, whatever you built with steroids, will stay with steroids. As soon as you take the artificial element away, he said, it goes back. So whatever you built naturally, which you have for decades, and that's what I think a lot of bodybuilders, young ones, should know. I was natty till 49 years old, natty. So in some ways, I'm not saying I'm big. I'm 84 kilos. That's what I am at 5'10". I mean, what do you expect? I mean, I'd like to get to 90 lean. It's a hard job being a natty to grow to 90 kilos. But the thing is, to not lose 84, but to build muscle on it, but to get lean at 84, that's my goal. My goal is not, Like I can go to 78 kilos. I can go to 77 kilos. But I just know I'm heavy. I feel stronger, heavier in my 80s. But it's always about constantly refining. So like I said, just know, just know if you're, hear me out, if you're after recognition, you're after a few plastic trophies, it doesn't require the gear.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like Dorian Yates said, it's true. If you're running a race car and you're using high octane fuel, and the race car on high octane fuel does so many seconds down the quarter mile, but you can't afford high octane fuel and it punishes the motor, so it needs to go back to a high end fuel, it's not going to run the same quarter mile. So what I'm trying to say to you is that he said it, you give something to your body and you take it away, it goes away. Whatever you have naturally will always stay. So it's a natural. So if you build, so like I said, natural is natural. Gear is gear.
It won't
Gear
just come off you when you...
It will. It just does. It just does. That's why sometimes when you look at these, I'm not saying some of these massive big guys that were on stage, but you see them today, they're just, because that was trained hard, but that was manipulated to the high end. All right, they go to the gym. All right, they eat well, but they're not manipulated to that high end. Well, that's what I believe. I mean, the critics can come in and say anything, but Dorian Yates said it, and I believe what Dorian Yates said.
That's kind of why, like, it took me 20 years to even think about it. I'm like, I've pushed my body naturally for so long, and I'm like, if I'm going to do bodybuilding, I got like realistically a 5-year window, and I'd be interested to see where it can take my body.
But like I said, to do another cycle won't be a problem for you. What I'm trying to say to you is, if you think that whatever you've built now. Whatever you've got, and whatever you need to do, maintain it, you maintain it. Like I said, but I've just watched older natty people seem to hold it better. 40-year-olds, 36-year-olds, 42-year-olds, 50-year-olds are sometimes, trust me, I know some get on the tests and do this and do that,
the
but
foundation
can never be taken away because you built it on actual the work and the
your body
food.
just won't get rid of it because
it just doesn't get rid of it. But when you put a chemical in it, and Dorian Yates said it inflates it. Take the chemical away, it deflates it, because the chemical is the bit that took you to that point. So what I mean is your final sets, when you're on the gear, they were your warm-up sets. Yeah. That strength you had, you're not going to maintain it. I can't maintain it, but I am stronger. But it also woke me up. I said to myself, fuck, if the gear made me eat better, if the gear made me rest better, and if the gear made me train better, how come I don't do it without the gear? So then I went, I'm going to rest better, I'm going to eat better, I'm going to train better with no gear. So it just meant the gear just made you lock in. But how about you just lock in? So like I said, I think, to dabble in it, but
the strength wasn't a problem. I was fucking super strong before that.
Yeah, but once you do the first injection, it's nothing. It's like you become a doctor. You're like, no, air out
a little bit too much.
air out the knee, air out the bubble in it, take the air out.
And I think from staying natural for so long and just like trialing it, I was like, the message to the younger people is push your body to the natural limit before you even think about it.
100%. That's what I'm saying is you can take the gear at 21, stop it at 31. I guarantee you, whatever you built in 10 years ain't there because you didn't build it at 21. It's just the way it goes. Like I said, the natties are incredible. I don't give a fuck if you're on the gear or not. Yeah, I'm thinking as well.
It all requires is fucking hard work.
Yeah, everyone's doing the hard work. But what I'm saying is, when I see a natty looking amazing, I'm thinking to myself, fuck, they got it really dialed in. And like I said, for myself, would I do another cycle? I think I want to. I think I do, because I really was naive at 49. Even when I did it quietly and then I did it a little bit increased. But I wouldn't, if I was going to do it, I'd line, all my ducks would be aligned. Yeah. And it would be like, I don't know if it'd be a comp or it'd be a season, like maybe coming into summer again and just thinking, all right, I'm in winter now. I've been training a couple of years. Everything's right. Maybe do a 12 weeks, see what it looks like. But that's all I do. But for me to continue it, I wouldn't. There's no need.
Because I think people get stuck where it's a long game when you're natural. It's like I said, 80 kilos in one of the shows, and in 8 years being able to be natural, I came on the stage 8 kilos heavier. But that involved me over years going force feeding myself, going up, coming down, going up, coming down, going up, force feed until my body became normal at 100 kilos. Then I pushed it to 110. Then 110 became half normal. I pushed my body naturally to 122 kilos, which was fucking hard. And then your 100 kilos becomes a new normal for when you're smaller. It just takes that much longer, and you're not as lean because you're not getting that lean muscle growth. You have to put on that muscle and fat to then come down.
100%. No, it's a yo-yo effect. So what are you, like, I've noticed that your social media is showing a little bit of trying to help people stay positive, motivated, inspire. Is that what your thing is at the moment, as well as a personal trainer?
Yeah, that's
life coach.
I don't know about life coach yet. Still need to sort mine out.
Yeah, I know. But some people just are life coaches while they don't sort themselves out.
I don't know. Like after that comp and I went away to Italy for a month. I've been able to think, and obviously what happened within a relationship. It's like bodybuilding is great, and I saw like people reach out to you. They're following your journey. They're motivating you. I've had people reach out to me that I haven't even met, and they've somehow, like males, they open up to you. And you tend to be, they've opened up to you about something, and my goal now is to give back. Bodybuilding's great. I love it. I'll continue to do it, but looking great is not the now sole purpose.
Yep.
The sole purpose behind it is, okay, because I've always been a little bit naive, and I'm like, okay, yeah, like people tell me I look good, and I still don't think I look great. I still think I look like a normal person.
Yep.
Like, you're not a normal person.
Yeah, of course.
And so basically what I want to do with it now is like using my journey through bodybuilding, using my knowledge through training, and like my mindset is to...
Also the few decades you've gone through, from even your party days to now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is use that to...
Traveling, everything.
In like kind of like motivate and inspire others. It doesn't have to be just males, but trying to help them understand that, like, if you're going through a tough time, like I've kind of experienced myself, using the gym not just to get on the stage, but using the gym and fitness as a way to channel your emotions into. And because you don't want to, like, when you're feeling depressed or you're feeling sad, you don't want to get up and do anything. But I've always forced myself, and I felt like that, to go into the gym, and you come out better on the other side. The way it makes you feel is how I want to make people feel that are feeling like that when they don't want to do it. And when they do it, they come back to you and say, that was probably the best thing I've done. Because if you isolate yourself, you're going to continue to spiral. But if you do something that's going to make you feel better, you need to get back out in the social environment. I think that's the avenue that, alongside bodybuilding, is want to motivate and help people use fitness in the gym as a tool to come out of what they're going through.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great cause or great idea. And yeah, the gym is, like I said, it's a place. Once you're in there, you're there, and you just do it, whether you do it great all the time or not. There's something about that journey in the car, or the run, walk, bike, whatever you do. But the gym, and even if you don't interact, just the noise and the atmosphere, the music, just the people, like, it doesn't, the competitive edge, watching better, just learning, you just learn. Like, I learn now, I go to the gym and I learn so much just by looking around me. I look at, like yesterday, one guy was doing delts, out of delts, and I really felt like, why do I want to tell him something? I felt I shouldn't. And I said, but he's a young guy, maybe he'll appreciate it. I said, look, I just said, pull him out a little bit more. And we did a set together because I was doing them, and man, his delts looked amazing. I mean, at the same time, he was training with his top off, but he looked all right. He looked natty. He wasn't anything big, but what I'm getting at is, but then trust me, I look at the people coming in at my age that haven't been training yet, and they're coming back to try to fix themselves. And I think, wow, this is a tough journey for them right now, but I hope they keep going with it. But yeah, like, I'm so glad, like, I just kind of realize I'm glad I've learned something from a young age, and that I can offer something to someone, but I'm so glad I'm in it. I'm so glad I didn't walk away from it. I'm so glad it's been part of decade and decade and decade. Like, the long game is the great game of bodybuilding. And I think once people realize that, I think that's when you see you see, like I said, life's challenges don't go away.
Yeah.
Sadness, disappointment, making mistakes, wins and losses. But as long as I think we need a home, and I think it's a good little place, the gym. So tell me, which car is the blue one? The Nissan, huh? Is it the Nissan that you're driving?
The new one, yeah.
What is that model? I haven't seen that around. What is that Nissan?
Nissan Z. So
where's that come from?
Don't know how you had all your 280, 240,
Yeah.
ZXs, 300.
Is that the latest?
350, 370. Now they've got the Z.
Is this what year model is that?
2024. So
yeah, I've seen it around.
I haven't had it long. And that was another thing. I sold my prep. I sold my Supra during my prep.
Your Subaru?
No, I had a Toyota Supra.
Oh yeah.
So,
what did you sell it for?
I did love that car. I did quarter mile racing and got it down to a 10.9 second car.
That's a quick car.
Yeah.
I got a few cars. I just sold an Evo 7.
Oh, beautiful.
And I've got a WRX RS40.
Oof.
We all do it, all souped up.
Not good for drag racing.
Yeah,
I had a VA STI and I flexed it and I was like about to put a bigger turbo on it. I'm like, I don't need to spend 15 grand if the engine blows, and that's when I bought the Toyota Supra.
Yeah.
Which throw 10 grand into it, get an extra 100 kilowatt, put flex fuel in it, and with a slightly bigger turbo, and it gave me a 10-second street car that you could drive. I drove that. Best I did was 10.9 seconds at Eastern Creek, and then I drove fucking 7 hours in it and I got 650k out of the tank. So it was like one of the best cars that I'd owned.
Wow. 2
seats. I don't know. That thing had a bit of a bad omen. A rock flicked and hit the windscreen once. Someone reversed into the front bumper. And then this was probably just before or during my prep. I was training at one playground, Haymarket, and came out and I was parked on a street and it just had been impaled. And I was like, are you fucking serious? And it was 2 months off the road. The lady didn't have insurance. Couldn't get a hire car, so I had to borrow mum's car, luckily. And I got it back, and you'd think they'll check over everything. I got it back and all these sensors were going off. I was like, why is this? And then put it on a tow truck, because I'm not driving it to you. Got it back. Sensor, as soon as I put it in, it was a reverse sensors issue. I was like, what are you doing? Went on a tow truck 6 times, and I was like, I'm done. And then I bought this car. I sold that and bought this one which I had to wait for. So
it's a good car.
Yeah, I like it so far. People underrated it. It's different because the Supra had a BMW engine in it, and this one's got basically the Infinity Red Sport. It's twin turbo V6. It's 298 kilowatt from stock at the engine. It's no slug. They just complain about the handling of it, but I love the color of it, and I've always it's a nice blue color.
You like blue, I've noticed.
Love blue.
Yeah, nice. Well, I saw it later. That was the car you're driving around. It's pretty cool. Well, mate, we've come to the end of the podcast. What we're going to do is go over the body.
The body?
Right? Yeah, you're gonna train me now. No, we'll go over the body. So I'm going to give you a body part.
Yeah.
You're just going to give me one exercise, sets and reps. That's it. One exercise. You got to pick one. Traps.
Traps. I don't even be training traps.
we don't have to say anything. You just say we don't train them.
I don't specifically focus on traps.
All right, let's go. We'll go delts then. Delts, side delt.
Side delts. I'm a big fan of the cable raise.
Yeah.
Lateral cable raise, but
front or from the rear?
From the side.
Yeah, side. Yeah.
Front, from the front.
Yeah.
Big fan of
sets and reps.
4 sets, 12 reps.
Okay. Back delts, rear delts.
Back delts again on the cable, so putting it about shoulder height and extending your arm all the way up.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Again, shoulders is what I want to improve, and what's worked for me is doing them more than the rest of the body part. So 4 sets again, 12 rep range.
Front delts.
Front delts, I still kind of use an upright row. Again, it's hard to just say 12 reps because I train my body part twice a week.
Yep.
So I'll be
the shoulders.
Everything.
Oh, that's good.
Twice a week.
Which days do you have? Wrist days?
Sunday.
That's it?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Keep going. That's good.
My body likes endurance. It likes being pushed.
Yeah.
And maybe my coach, that's how I've learned, right?
No, I think I'm into that. We go ahead. So, front delts are upright rows, yeah?
Yeah, on the cable, you can use a barbell, but cable for me with a rope.
Back?
Lats. Oof. That one, I've been getting into lately, the machines, for example, Techno Gym, doing unilateral, so isolation.
Yep.
The big thing for me is stop myself from putting load on. So single arm, really connecting with the muscle, holding it, and then bringing it back out. So
Okay. Sets and reps?
the 4, I guess again. No, 3 and kind of 12.
Okay, that's right. Chest?
Chest. I used to be a big fan of the bench press, but incline dumbbell is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
So I think it's that, like really focusing on that connection now, and you can lift a fair bit of weight with that. So
Okay. I'll leave sets and reps for now. We'll go abs?
abs, I don't train abs.
Yeah, no, I've stopped training abs because everyone says it's a muscle that grows and then I get a big gut.
That's what I got taught.
Yeah, me too. I didn't know that. Bicep?
Bicep, single arm on a bench, like a preacher curl with a dumbbell.
Nice. Tricep?
Tricep, again, dumbbell, what's it called? Skull crush.
Yeah, I've been doing that. Forearms?
Don't train them.
Yeah, I do. I
think I used to be a tradie. They're already
No, they're
big
fucking
enough.
big, yeah. Well, you were a trader. You were slightly a plumber for a little while. Quads?
Quads, oof, I used to love squatting.
Yeah.
But probably single leg press I've been doing a lot at the moment, so to balance them back out.
Okay. When you say balancing them back out, sometimes do you go heavier with the other leg or longer reps with the other leg? How do you balance them out?
Well, when you do 2 legs, you can feel you dominating through one leg.
You do.
So you don't know
which leg's dominating the most sometimes.
And with unilateral, you got the only choice to be using that one leg.
I like it. I'm going to start doing that. But even though I did legs last night.
Push stupid weight. I think the most I did was up to 800 kilos on a leg press.
Oh, God. Hammies? Hamstrings?
Hammies. What do we got? My favorite at the moment is seated hamstring curl. But it has to be the right machine. And like Hammer Strength and Life Fitness are great for that. But some of the machines are,
yeah, they are. Glutes?
Got them through squatting and deadlifting.
Yeah, that's all right. Calves?
Standing. Love standing.
Yep. Tibialis?
Don't train it.
Okay. Well, time to promote yourself, mate. Where can we find you?
You can find me under Coach Carrett on Instagram.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Mate, I just want to say thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me on here. I've loved it.
Oh,
Thanks,
I loved it too, man. I loved it too. Hey, guys. Another podcast done with another wonderful guest. They're all greats, no matter who they are. So, to continue what we're doing and to keep supporting you and bringing the very best, if you could subscribe, hit the notification bell, press like, it only helps us to grow this channel even further. Thank you for watching this podcast. Thank you for watching all podcasts. So, subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, and continue watching us here on YouTube or listening to us here